This is the Mike Rutherford Show on the Big X.
The sportos, motorheads, geek bloods, wastoids, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
The Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133.
All right. All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is Monday, March 9th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, Louisville's newest construction management company. We're coming to you live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios here in the heart of victorious and postseason-ready Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, take your career to new heights with an MBA from the University of Louisville. The full-time MBA is an innovative 12-month program that accelerates your career trajectory with convenient in-person evening classes, competitive 11-month paid internship opportunities, provide you with valuable industry experience. It's the MBA that pays. Get started today, and you could earn your degree in just 1 year. The first step is hopping online and visiting business.louisville.edu. We're on the air today from 2:33 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM, 96.1 FM, streaming across the land, including on the Big X Sports Radio YouTube channel, airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know what's better? As the Big X, we got Mike Rutherford here, we got Matt Childress here, we got Roman Kelly here. And folks, well. The narrative has shifted for the U of L men's basketball team. What couldn't be done has been done. The Cards go on the road and knock off a top 25 team on Saturday and do so in dramatic fashion. It feels like some life has been injected into this fan base. Some life has been injected into this team as we get ready for this week's ACC tournament in Charlotte. The women's team, unfortunately, had a rough Sunday. It was a great Sunday for about an hour and 50 minutes, and then not a great finish there. We'll talk about that. We'll dive into all the madness of March as it now is fully upon us here. We got basketball games going at all hours of all days. Crazy stuff happening across the country. Implications for Louisville as we are now just 6 days away from Selection Sunday, 2 days away from the Cardinals tipping off the postseason in Charlotte in the, thankfully, afternoon 6-seed game, 6 versus 11 or 14. We'll break down the tournament. We'll talk about the likelihood of Louisville playing its way deep into Charlotte, but certainly we will start today focused mostly on the victory from Saturday over Miami. Before we do anything, though, we say hi to our guy Roman Kelly. Give him a follow on Twitter at RomyBean, producing the hell out of the show per usual. Listen to him every day right here from 2 to 2:30 on Running with Roman. Most days from 5:30 to 6 on the Ticket Punchers. Thursdays on the three-man front, 5:30 to 6:30. Today, he'll be on with Dalton Pence from 5:30 to 7. Roman, how are you, buddy?
Doing great. Feeling great. Feeling ecstatic about the Cards and their ability to go and beat good teams now. Feeling very good of the overall hump that we got over. Haven't seen that since 2020, Mike. And that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm just acknowledging the good, acknowledging that we're finally back to a place that we haven't been in. About halfway through the Dungeon Crawler Carl first book.
That's the big piece of news here.
Feeling great about that. Going to go pick the second one up after work today.
He's a Carlite.
Going to finish that up today as well, I imagine, with the rate that I've been reading here the last few days.
He's a full-on dungeon fanatic.
I am. It's great. I don't know. The more I get into it, I don't know if it's your vibe, but I love it. I can see why people love it. I can give you an explanation of
I don't know how to take that.
Where I'm at mentally with it.
It's great. I don't know if you'd like it.
It's like if you combined Survivor, Squid Game, and Hunger Games and Fortnite together. And like Skyrim, if you know
I'm
what
not
that
crazy about this. I'm not crazy about this at all.
Don't think it's your vibe that much. But I love it. I'm enthusiastic about what's to come. I can't wait to read as much as I can in this series and finish this out. Very, very thankful for the text line and their suggestion with this book.
There you go. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to find a stream link for the show that actually works now. Matt Childress is here as well. He's going to hang out for the first hour of today's show. You hear him on various shows throughout the day. This is the most fun one to be on today because not a lot of fun stuff to talk about on KRC or Just the Cats with Michael Bennett. Scoots is just, the writing's on the wall for poor Scoots when it comes to the Indiana Hoosiers March prospects. So Matt gets to hang out with us and actually talk about winning basketball for a change. Matt, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. We get to talk about ranked basketball, too. 1 week short of the entire season, unfortunately, but I'm good. I mean, it was a fun win to watch. It was an exciting game. We all knew that at some point it was going to get kind of muddy in there and that Miami was going to fight back. So I'm just happy that, first ranked road win since 2020. It's nice to get that monkey off your back. It feels like this has been a season of small milestones for our guy Pat Kelsey and this basketball team in general. So it's nice to be on the winning track. And as for the DCC, the Dungeon Crawler Carl over there, I talked to Roman this weekend. We were both in doing high school basketball games, and I asked him, I was like, so like, how are you really enjoying it? Like, what's going on? He was like, I'm a little bit in. I'm really interested in it because I just don't know what's going to happen next. And then he goes through an explanation of what the book is. Like, give me a short synopsis of the universe and what's going on. The way he explains it, I'm listening. I'm like, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you guys on air. I'm a big anime guy. Okay, I am. For anybody out there that's anime watchers, I'm one of them. He's explaining this to me. I'm like, that is literally what solo leveling is. So if anybody out there listening knows
what is,
it's a show called Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling.
So the point is, the main the protagonist is.
Am I the only non-virgin on this show?
he's the protagonist.
This is ridiculous.
Fights these beasts or whatever, and he can level himself up. And Rowan basically explained to me that the universe in which Dungeon Crawler Carl is like the entire planet is sent into a universe just like that, where they basically become like almost like video game characters. And he's explaining this to me. I'm like, dude, this is literally what the entire plot of Solo Leveling. Are we sure Dungeon Crawler Carl didn't just copy this?
All right, guys, here's the deal. The Dungeon Crawler Carl stuff, this is a May, June thing. Roman jumping the gun and reading the book in the middle of March Madness was a terrible thing for the show. This would be great content for us in June, July, August, something like that. We got basketball to talk about. We got winning basketball to talk about. And now we just got Carl just taking over the first 2 minutes of the show. We're going to have to save this. We're going to need just like if we lose on Wednesday, we'll talk a little Carl on Friday show. That's what we need to do. But I'm glad you're enjoying it.
That was the highlight of my Saturday, was learning about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
I also love that, like, the only we hop on the YouTube. I just got the stream up. Very first comment. Roman snacking, all caps.
Look, had a busy first half of the day. Had to get to lunch late.
He's got to get, you get the meals in when you can get them in.
You need your energy.
It's March. We're all working different hours now. It's all systems go. I was telling Matt before I came in, yesterday was the first day, and I know everybody's dealing with flu bugs. My mom, she runs a preschool, and she's like, my God, the number of kids that are sick. My daughter's school has just been run with sick. And like, if you listened last week, you knew I was not operating at 100%. Just did not feel great the entire week. Yesterday was the first day in like a week that I woke up and I felt great. So naturally, both kids are like just burning fevers yesterday morning. We just can't really do anything, lie around, which is kind of okay for me because I had a lot of basketball stuff to get done. But they missed school today. There's just illness everywhere. And I'm like, can we just avoid this? There's too much going on right now. So I'm hoping you guys don't get anything. But you seem like you're okay. And I'm feeling better today. We're ready to go. We're very focused. We did get a chance to, after Saturday, we went and saw Hoppers in the theater, which ESPN is advertising relentlessly on every college basketball game. So enjoyable movie, theater experience.
I heard it was good.
Shout out to Hoppers. Had a couple laugh out loud moments. Kids both enjoyed it, which is all that really matters. But now we're ready to go. We're raring to go. John actually said the words yesterday, I hate basketball, which I did not approve of at all, and just kept repeating it. He said, I love the Cards, but I hate basketball.
No, that's soap in the mouth stuff.
I was like, I don't know if we have the same DNA. Like, you really might not be my son at this point, but he's going to have to get used to it. He's going to have basketball. So we have like 3 different TVs downstairs. You can pick one. I got basketball on the TV that I'm watching. You're going to have to get over it. It is that time of the year. And thankfully, it feels, I think everybody's concern was we were going to get back to, obviously we were going to be in the NCAA tournament, win, lose, or draw on Saturday. But I think that there were some people that were just like, with the team floundering a little bit, I can't fully get into the madness of March, the magic of March. I can't watch all these other teams' games when it feels like Louisville's sort of on the outside looking in from a positive season excitement perspective. And I think that changed on Saturday. It didn't. One win by 3 points in Coral Gables did not fix all of the problems that we've been talking about for the last month and a half. But there's something to be said for actually going out there and doing something that you have not been able to accomplish over the preceding 4 months, and the type of jolt that it can give you going into this portion of the season now where it's every game's win or go home. This week it's win or go home to get ready for the NCAA tournament. This time next week we'll be talking about winner, season's over. So getting that experience of tasting a victory over a ranked opponent on the road and just winning a close game like that, I think can really just be a huge lift for a team that was looking for a positive jolt like this in these types of games. So let's just dive right into it. Louisville, nobody was confident. I was not doing the thing for effect. I did not pick us to lose the game on Friday for effect. I really and genuinely thought that this team was not going to be able to come back from Miami with a victory. I think we all picked against the Cards. Basically, everybody on the text line, besides I think one guy who predicted us to win by 70, thought we were going to lose this game. So, of course, this was the one game that we actually come back home with a very impressive Quad 1A victory, the first of the season for Louisville.
I said that was going to happen.
What was?
Everybody's going to predict us to lose, and of course, we'll get over the hump finally.
I
in
think
a game where nobody believes we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of felt like maybe it was I mean, it had to have happened at some point.
That's just how the basketball gods work.
But like I said all last week, I very much after the Clemson game, I told you guys if we lose this game to Clemson, I will not pick us to beat Miami. I will very much adopt I believe it can happen, but you're now going to have to show me before I actually believe it can happen again mentality. And that's where I was. And they made it happen. 92-89 is the final score. Obviously, it was not perfect. It never is. But the good, I think, dramatically outweighed the bad from this one. Roman, I'll let you take first swing. The biggest takeaway from this game is what?
We, outside of like a 10-minute span of Renault and his determination to get to the free throw line, we wanted it more than Miami. We looked like we were more desperate, like he's been calling for this team to be. We also looked more prepared. Don't remember the last time we looked more prepared against an evenly-esque matched opponent on the road this season. So that feels good. And then you did it with sharing the basketball and playing hard and taking good shots and doing that for a long period of time. The defense slipped up, but you kind of expect that when you're going to have a game with a lot of fluctuating parts due to not having your point guard in the game. I still that you got the great energy off the bench. Ali Khalifa playing through Ramadan, through his illness.
Ali flu game.
Javon Hadley playing big from start to finish, out of position for good portions of that game. Guarding players too big for him to really be guarding. Still trying to hold his own out there. I mean, it's just a game where it was gritty. It was scrappy. And you got the job done even when it got a little bit shaky. And we've seen us have shaky moments, be wobbly, and then allow that to be the time we get slapped in the face sometimes this season. And we didn't let that happen, and that feels great.
Matt, biggest takeaway from this game is what?
Roman kind of already mentioned it, but I think this is the second game in a row, and this is probably one of the only 2 games of the season where Louisville looked genuinely more prepared for this basketball game than the other team did. I felt like Miami was kind of in their desperation mode down the stretch of just kind of hoping and praying for single-player performances and Trey Donaldson and Malik Renew to kind of step up and win in that game, and we looked like we had a calm, collected game plan of getting into the paint, trying to play just as physical as they do, opening up the field for our shooters late in the game and early in the game as well. And I feel like our defense stepped up to the plate. I feel like they played a good job, a good enough role in the first half that even with their slip up in the second half, you were able to put on a show for the elite offense that you were projected to have all season. To your offense basically be good enough to outwill a team that's got a hot run, or more physical. One of the things we've been talking about all season where this offense can be efficient enough to win some games you think that you probably won't win because, you're able to score at such a high clip. And I feel like a lot of that is on the back of Adrian Woolley. I feel like he did a great job of taking care of the basketball, breaking down the defense at the point of attack and finding routes to other scores, getting guys like Isaac McNeely going early, get guys like Ryan Conwell going early, even Ali Khalifa catching the ball, off the catch and getting to shoot pretty quickly. It was one where I felt all around this was one of our better offensive performances.
Yeah, I mean, we came out. I had the same conversation with buddies in the just our text group, and I think there was a general sense that this one felt different because it wasn't a atypical script for this team. Come out, shoot the ball well early on, jump out to a big lead, kind of hold that lead for most of the first half, let Miami chip away a little bit, and then, oh no, here they come, and we're kind of just peeing down our leg. This one felt a little bit different. It felt like we kept our cool when Miami started making shots and started making more of a concerted effort to guard the three-point line. Like, we were doing things. We played with a level of confidence that I don't think we've seen from this team all that often. There were a couple of hiccups down the stretch, but, one thing that I thought just embodied the whole, this is different type deal. We've talked a lot about Isaac McNeely and just looking like a different player than he did the last couple of years at Virginia, maybe not being able to fully come to grips with this new role of being third or fourth scoring option on this team.
That's the Isaac I want.
This is what I loved about him, and we'll talk about the mid-range stuff and him. I mean, he made 3 of 4 mid-range shots. He had one that he missed, and the guy tipped it in himself, which was a big moment too, where we needed something to happen.
I don't even know what Uday was tipping it for right there.
He was trying to get it, and I don't think he knew that there was somebody who wasn't. It was because I think it was Woolley. It was somebody who wasn't a big going for the rebound, and I think he was trying to tip it away from him, and he just tipped it straight in. But I loved Isaac missed a 3 pretty badly on one possession, and it was an early shot, and you're like, all right, man, I don't know if that was the shot in that moment. The very next possession, he goes right to work. I feel like Isaac all season long in that type of situation, if he misses one, unless he's wide open the next possession from 3, he's not going to try to do anything to push the envelope offensively. He's just out there not to screw up for a little bit of time. He missed a shot badly. He gets the ball next possession, goes right to work, takes his man one-on-one, hits a mid-range jumper. And I was like, damn. I was like, if these guys are going to play with that level of confidence, we could have something here.
He had an
down the stretch.
Extremely tough fall-away jumper when he
had 2 of them.
Yeah, he had 2 of them.
All the way, but he got deep into the lane on those drives.
I was like, where's
stopping at the free throw line?
Where has this been in his bag all season? He's just been I'm not going to pull this out until we really need it.
Or I don't want to get yelled at, but it's late enough in the season. My college career is done after this week. One way or the other. Let's just go out there and take some mid-range shots. And I mean, Pat Kelsey talked about it today. He got asked the question straight up, and he was like, I still don't think it's the most. The numbers don't lie. They all say it's not the most, but he's like, if it's there, it's allowed to be part of the offense. I was like, it better be, because he looked a lot better doing that than he did driving to the basket. Although he did have a great drive to the basket and a dish for a easy bucket for Javon Hadley at one point. He played a very, very good game. But this team, they carried themselves differently in this one. And it almost slipped away at the end regardless. But they did look more poised, more under control, more confident throughout this entire game. And Miami's a good team. They were making big-time plays to make that run. I'm not all the way back. Still got a little bit of coughing going. But when they started getting things going offensively, we're not a great defensive team. I don't think it's for lack of effort. I think we just got a bunch of guys that don't defend particularly well. But I like the fact that we didn't seem to bat an eye. Ryan Conwell played under control. We'll talk a lot about Adrian Woolley today. He just never wavered once. We didn't shake. We didn't flinch when Miami started making this big run. And I feel like at every other point this season, we've wilted in those types of spots. We didn't do it. And the good news for us moving forward is when we lose momentum in these types of games moving forward, these are all going to be neutral site games. You don't have to beat anybody on their home floor anymore. You don't have to deal with opposing crowds. Now, if you play Duke or UNC in Charlotte next week, you're going to have an overwhelming home crowd feel for the opposing team. But that game will be the ACC championship if you get there, and I think we'd all take that. It just felt different. And the fact that they were able to come out with a victory is the biggest thing that matters. But I think the process also looked a lot better. The defense still isn't good. There's no way around it. But this is kind of who we are. If we're going to beat good teams, we've known this all season long. We got to shoot well from 3. We were 12 of 24, 50% in this game. We got to shoot well at the rim. We were 60% from the field overall in this game. We took care of the ball better than we have, only 7 turnovers. We won the turnover battle there. We shared the ball effectively, 22 assists on 32 made shots. We did everything that we needed to do to beat good teams in the NCAA tournament starting in a couple of weeks. And hopefully this can be a – now, again, you'd love to have a game where you don't allow the opponents to score 89 points and shoot 56% from the field, but we're not very good defensively. I like that we threw the zone in there a little bit. I thought we had some success with the zone. We had a couple of possessions where the zone didn't look great. But the other big takeaway is you've really found something with Adrian Woolley here. Because, I mean, he steps up, he saves the game. And it's not just the last shot. It's
he had a drive when they had cut it into single digits that he got all the way to the basket when we needed a bucket that I just thought was.
He scored a bunch at the rim. Like, that was kind of his thing. And then when they overcorrect and they start playing him to score at the rim, he makes that great wraparound pass to Frew for the easy dunk in the final minutes. That was a huge bucket to put us back on top by 1. He just played under control. And 6 assists, 0 turnovers, despite Miami applying some pretty serious defensive pressure at times.
The ball being in his hand a lot.
Yeah, I thought he played a wonderful game. And this is one of those deals where even if Michael comes back this week, next week, whenever, you've got now, I think, a really serious scoring option off the bench or starting if you want to keep Woolley in the starting lineup that can be a huge asset for you if things start going poorly with Michael or you just need a lift from somebody else. I think that could be enormous. You guys both talked about it. Miami started the game. It felt like we were the more well-prepared team. I don't think a lot of opposing ACC head coaches listen to the Mike Rutherford show on the Big X. If they do, we appreciate it. So I feel like we can say this without giving any state secrets away. I don't know why teams keep zoning us. Every time they do, I'm like, hell yeah. And not just because we want to shoot the 3. We're just a lot better at creating open looks against the zone than we are against the man-to-man, especially when you don't have Michael Brown. Like, they came out in the zone a few times in the first half, and I was like, you guys sure you want to do this? This just seems like an error in judgment. And then not only did they come out in the zone, they just let Ryan Conwell step into a bunch of open threes at the beginning. We mentioned on Friday's show they're not a very good perimeter defense team. I still thought they would guard the one guy that you've got to guard on this team, and they didn't until the second half. Like, I don't know exactly what their plan was. I didn't hate it, but it felt like you guys both said, this was a game where we felt like we were the more prepared team. We had the better scout. We were executing better early on. And having that lead, which was 9 points at the break, was obviously a huge, huge asset for us in being able to hold them off and win this game. What else stood out to you that we have not touched on yet, Roman?
We just paid attention to detail. I think that when you look at some of the possessions we had, I mean, part of what I was seeing was this interesting thing with Miami where when their sets and their obviously organized offense worked for them, it worked very, very well. And when it didn't work for them, I mean, it was just Renaud or Donaldson, please, God, do something for us. Because it was just whoever offense on whoever the defender was after the set broke down, and they were just trying to get to the basket. That's all they were trying to do. If they had a couple of passes and the first or second option didn't work, we kind of upped the defensive intensity within those possessions. Seems like we were paying attention to that. Like, oh, the set didn't get it through. They're going to have to do this now, and we took advantage of them in a lot of those opportunities. I think that on the defensive side for us, or on the offensive side for us, we were patient. We took good shots, and when we got into those tough possessions, we played tough. So that's what you got to have. You can't bail the other team out with long 3 after long 3 when they're playing tougher and playing off ball harder. You've got to go to other options, and those options have to be able to perform for you, and they did. Adrian Woolley, Ali Khalifa, Javon Hadley, they were on their A game.
Okay, going to break. When we come back, more thoughts on this. We'll also talk a little bit about the women's team's loss to Duke yesterday in the ACC championship game. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. and it got away from them. If you guys didn't see the game, Louisville led by 4 with the ball with under a minute to go in the ACC championship game against Duke, who was who won the regular season meeting in a game where it felt like Louisville had to invent ways to lose. And we got a 10-second call. Just no sense of urgency. I think Jeff Walls had told, McKinley Randolph, I think, to kind of like slow up, and she just like stopped. I don't think he meant slow up in the backcourt, but one of those situations, and I love Jeff and I love the staff, you got to recognize that there and call the timeout if you realize that it's even remotely possible that they're not going to get the ball across half court. They don't. They give the ball back to Duke. Duke misses a shot. We don't get the defensive rebound. They get the rebound. They score and get fouled. They miss the free throw. We don't get the rebound. They get the rebound. They kick it out. They make a 3. Boom, they're ahead by 1. Still had a chance to end the game in regulation. Still had a chance to win it. Some missed free throws, some missed shots, some lack of blocking out. Had a good opportunity in overtime. Couldn't get it done. It was just I think Duke finished the game with 18 offensive rebounds. It was a extraordinarily frustrating performance for Louisville. They still should be in pretty good shape, I think, to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Still definitely have the ability to play their way deep into the NCAA tournament. But the notion that this team struggles with holding on to leads late in games certainly got extra ammo with that loss yesterday. It was just a bummer. It just I was like, man, what a great Monday show. Conference championship, first big win for the men's team. Baseball's rolling. The weather's going to be good for at least today. I think it's going to be crappy the next 2 days. But unfortunately, just did not get there. Did you guys catch any of the game yesterday afternoon?
I did not get
that.
that.
The moment hesitation, I was like, that's a no.
Saw the end.
Roman saw the end? Okay. It was bad.
Bad.
It was sad. I still feel like
on Twitter about it.
Yeah. I mean, people did go over the top with the whole, Jeff can't get it. It's a conference championship game. We're still in pretty good shape. We've still had a pretty good year. This team still has.
We performed better than we were expected this year.
Yeah, I mean, we were the 2 seed in the ACC. We played to our seed level. Obviously, it sucks that they didn't get the job done when they were well positioned to win a conference championship. But this team still has the ability to play deep into the NCAA tournament. Amari Berry's playing the best basketball of her season. She's the one who I'm always just like, get the ball to. There's just a different look about her. The fluidity of her game is so good. I thought McKinley played real well all weekend long. Laura Ziegler's been a rock for this team all season. Taj Roberts still working her way back. You can tell she's not quite 100%. But, I mean, they had it. They just didn't get it done. But still a good run for them in Duluth. Hopefully we'll get 2 more home games this season. That'll be fun. It's been 3 years since we've been to a Sweet 16, which doesn't feel like all that long. It feels like an eternity when you had been to whatever it was, 29 straight Sweet 16s or whatever Jeff Walsh has set the standard for. So getting back to that second weekend would be a lot of fun. And I think it's a team that I don't know if they can win a national title. I do think it's a team that's capable of making it to a Final Four if they get a couple of breaks. They played right with some of the best teams in college basketball early in the season. I think they've got that ability, and that's exciting. Still very excited about this team's ceiling. Still think that there's a potential that they can hit that ceiling and win at least 3 games in the NCAA tournament, which would be a whole hell of a lot of fun. On the men's side, next up is the ACC tournament. Now, we would have ended up being the 6th seed anyway. We didn't know it at the time, but NC State ended up getting beat by Stanford. I look up, though, early on in the game, and I see Florida State is just hammering SMU, who didn't have B.J. Edwards, and I'm just like, oh, my God. I'm like, we're going to be the 8. We're going to lose this game. Florida State's going to crush SMU. NC State's going to beat Stanford. We're going to be the 8th seed in this tournament and have to play somebody really good in the first game. And then if we win that, we get to be, the first chum for the shark that is Duke right now in the quarterfinals. Thankfully, we avoided that. We took matters into our own hand, locked up the 6th seed for this tournament. We'll play at 2:30 on Wednesday, approximately 2:30. It's technically 30 minutes after the end of the first game, which tips off at noon. I believe we'll be off the air for that and Thursday's show if we're fortunate enough to advance. The Cards will play the winner of SMU versus Syracuse in an 11-14 game. we all know who we're rooting for. That game's at 4:30 tomorrow. Let's go, Q's. Let's go ahead and just, I know it's a be careful what you wish for type situation, but we watched SMU score 95 points against us just a few weeks ago, and we watched Syracuse very much go through the motions and score 62 last week.
I don't want to see Boopy Miller in a tournament setting.
I don't either. No, I don't know what Edwards' status is going to be. They're not as good with it, without him. But you've still got Jerron Pierre, who torched us. You've still got Boopy Miller, who torched us. That is a dangerous first game if it comes down to it. But outside of that, people are like, I like the draw. I think any draw where we don't have to play Duke until the championship game is like, that's an I like this draw scenario. It's not ideal having SMU in round 2, but still, if you win that one, you play a Miami team on a neutral court that you just beat on their home floor, and then potentially you get Virginia in the semifinals, who, while they're good, is not nearly as scary as Duke is. Maybe you'd rather play Carolina without Caleb Wilson, but they've already beaten us without Caleb Wilson. So it is a draw that I think at least opens the door for us to maybe win 3 games and play our way back to the ACC title game. You'd love to get at least 2. Feel like you solidify yourself as a 6, maybe a low 5 for the NCAA tournament. Who the hell knows what the committee's going to do? But I like the draw that we ended up getting. Matt, where are you with this ACC tournament draw?
Where we're at the moment, I love the draw, not only for the fact that I think it's, in terms, probably the best possible route to do something special in March, but you also have in your way multiple serious quad 1 opportunities to build your resume towards the end of the season, kind of like you mentioned, and a couple of those teams are ones that you kind of wish you had another chance at. So you get another chance if you win against Miami again, which you already beat, but you can bolster resume again, but you've already beaten them once. Possibly get to take on SMU again. That's one you probably would like back. Try and go 2-1 against them on the season series.
Virginia would be a huge win.
Virginia would be a really big one to get as well. You felt like you kind of slipped on that one. If you didn't let them get to a 14-0 lead to start the game, you probably win that game at home. So that's one you want back. And then if things go your way and you're playing really hot into that situation in that run of games, then maybe you feel confident that you get to see Duke again. We played them pretty well at home the first game of the season. You felt like that one also slipped away. Obviously, the away game against them was not something we would ever want to see again. But at the same time, you have the opportunity to go and basically get a rematch against teams that a lot of fans would say, I want to play that team one more time.
And look, I'm not saying that we would be favored against Duke or have a whole lot of optimism, but they're dealing with injuries this week. There's Caleb Foster, who killed us in the second game and the first game, really, is maybe not going to play for them this week. There's talk that Patrick Bonga is maybe not going to play for them this week. They're a little bit banged up, and it sounds like John Shire is erring on the side of caution, where he says, as much as we want to win a conference championship, we're more worried about winning a national championship, and we're not going to sacrifice having the best possible chance to make a deep run in March Madness just to win a conference tournament. So it kind of sounds like those guys may not play this week. That would give you a little bit of a better chance. If
Go ahead and rest Cam Boozer while you're at it. Give him a break.
It's also like it's the ACC championship. Like, if you get blown out by Duke in the ACC, you've made the ACC championship. Like, you don't want to play Duke before then. If it comes down to it, you're like, hell yeah. Like whatever. We'll give it our best shot. Let's go out there. And if you are able to beat them, you've done something extraordinary. So I would gladly take that if it comes down to it. Roman, where are you with your outlook for our chances this week in Charlotte?
I like it. I obviously would have liked a double bye spot, but knowing that you didn't handle business when you needed to kind of solidify having that kind of opportunity, this is the next best thing, I think.
I'm good with it as well. And I think if you get a couple of wins, you look across, and I keep saying this, I'm going to sound like a broken record, I guess, for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
But people keep talking about, well, we're gonna drop. I don't trust us not to be an 8 seed. All the teams that are below us right now in the metrics and the projected brackets that are out there just keep losing. Like, bubble teams went 0-13 yesterday. The teams that were seeded like 7 through 10 are not performing overly well. Like, teams have to actually win big time games if they are going to jump you. I feel like if we go out there and we win our opener on Wednesday, I don't want to say that we're nothing definitive after last year, obviously, but we should be kind of locked into a 6 seed at that point. I think you would have the potential to play your way up if you win a couple more what would be quad 1A games. I mean, we play SMU on a neutral. That's a quad 1A as of right now. So they're 39th in the net rankings. We would play presumably nothing but Q1A games until we lose in this tournament, and that's a big opportunity to bolster that resume. We're 14th in the net. We've talked about this team as if we're like a fringe NCAA tournament team. We are 14th in the net. We're 7-9 in quad 1. We've got no losses outside of quad 1. We're a combined, a lot of people do the combined Q1, Q2 thing. If you do that, we're 11-9 in those games. We've got a quad 1A win now. There's a lot going for this team, and you've got a chance to build on that this week with that positive momentum against teams that I feel like, we're right there with. Now, Pat Kelsey talked with the media this morning, and he didn't say anything that I thought was crazy. He did some good, like, fire the troops up stuff for the postseason basketball, and, there's a different buzz in the city this time of the year, which I agree with and I love hearing. But he was asked about Michael, and
quick response.
Just didn't really give you anything.
He's working. He's working back.
It was very just kind of boilerplate language. He's working hard to get back, and he did say like he's going to be back on the court very soon. Who the hell knows what that means? I'd kind of heard last week probably not going to play in either of the two games, but they were thinking that he would be good for the ACC tournament. I've not heard anything since then, so who the hell knows? Do we think we see Michael at all this week?
That was going to be my question.
Do we see him like late in the tournament if we win a couple games,
or
do we see him on Wednesday?
There's no way to know. We have no idea.
I know.
We don't even know who all goes into that decision or how many people.
People keep saying, like, we'll just save him for the NCAA tournament. You don't want somebody's first game back from an extended stay to be in a win or the season's over type situation. Like, I want him to play this week just because if recent history is any indication, it's going to take him a little bit to get his feet back underneath him. Like, do you want him? Let's have those moments in the ACC tournament and not in a game where if he plays badly, like, we're done. We won't get any more basketball for 9 months. If he can play a little bit this week, I want him to play a little bit this week.
Would you like to see him come off the bench at all?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I'm
Sure.
Come give us what you've got for 15, 20 minutes, maybe even as just a score.
If he can play at all this week, he needs to play this week. And I don't mean like for his purposes or just even if it gives us better. I want him to be at least partially back into the flow of things in live game situations before we get into NCAA tournament play. Because if we don't see him until, let's say, next Friday, first round game, playing whoever, maybe he comes back and he's great. Maybe he comes back and it's like, yeah, he's a little bit rusty. There's no coming back from that. If he's rusty and we lose, it's done. Like, you never get to see Michael Brown Jr. play for your team again, let alone all the other guys on this team that have no eligibility left. Like,
the issue is his upside.
Yeah.
You're not going to take the risk. You're not going to say, well, he's good to go. We're going to not play him because he hasn't played. That's what's tough about that scenario.
I think you've got if he gives you the go, if he says I'm good for 10 minutes or whatever, Wednesday against SMU, Thursday against Miami, he's got to get out there. And I think I love the way that we looked on Saturday. I recognize that we are not at our ceiling without Michael Brown Jr. Like, we need him if we're going to do anything sort of magical this month. And hopefully he's good to go this week. But Pat Kelsey,
you need him at his best, or he's really a net negative.
I totally agree. Especially when you look at I would like to think that a guy like him, who's clearly a competitor, would be inspired by the way the team won 2 big games last week without him. Hopefully this is going to sound like a small thing, though. But I was like going through one of the best things when you have wins like Saturday afternoons is just like, your social media is just filled with people celebrating the win. And, I go on Instagram, all the players are like posting like congratulatory pictures of Adrian Woolley and all this stuff. I was like, Michael, can you just post something? I was like, his one thing was like a sponsored Adidas post. I was like, can you just like give me an L's up?
He posted a TikTok of him and Woolley dancing.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
See him out on TikTok. That's the thing.
Because I think they were roommates
That
on
makes
the
me
trip.
feel better.
He said, what was the caption says, AD called game, I think, or something like that.
Okay, good.
Called game on him or something.
That right there makes me feel a little bit better. I was like, I need some like, I'm just as happy as everybody else, even though I didn't get to play. And I would hope that would inspire him to be like, I want to be a part of this. If I'm 60% good on Wednesday, I'll play at least a little bit. I want to get out there and be a part of postseason basketball. We need him.
The thing is, like, I've seen him post a lot more on TikTok than he does Instagram and stuff like that. Do we think there's any chance that somebody else runs his Instagram?
I'm starting to think that.
Maybe.
Like, as a business decision.
See, this is what happens with social media. Like, at a certain point, like, Twitter kind of became like the old people now, like, and then it was like the young people are all on Instagram, and now it's like the older people are taking over Instagram, and the young people have moved to TikTok. I'm sure there'll be something new relatively soon that the young kids will move to. So yeah, it does feel like Instagram has now become the more like kind of professional place, and like people.
So if you're a Nike or Adidas athlete at that level, lottery pick-esque, they don't let you tweet or post whatever you want.
What's the LaMelo Ball video that girl comes up to him and is like, hey, you should follow me on Instagram? He's like, I'll run it.
Yeah.
That's, what was it, Julian Newman's little sister?
I think that's who it was.
You remember that name, Mike?
Yes. He's still
playing.
He's still playing.
No, he got kicked off the team that he played for, like at the D2 level, and I think his numbers were legitimately. You can look this up. He was like 3 of 35 from the field, in the 5 games that he played. But he's like 27 years old now.
Now he's playing against people like on YouTube and like playing against.
He should have did that. He probably be more money by now if he would have done that 5 years ago.
He should. I mean, there's a whole market out there for social media hoopers,
and now they're kind of letting those people in that realm into the NBA scene and stuff. So
yeah, that's the route to go to. And then everybody's like, "Is he any good, actually?" And then you see him play for a D3 school against like decent competition. You're like, no, he's not good at all.
Sean just texted me. Mike was upset that Michael didn't post anything on Facebook.
Why didn't you email me anything, Michael?
Michael just updated his relationship status.
His GeoCities website that he built was
didn't even get a retweet.
Come on, man.
What's his MySpace top 5?
He didn't move Wooly up after his top 5 after the game-winning shot. I don't know if he's fully committed at this point. Yeah, I'm showing my age more and more every single day on the show. But the question about who was going to start, which I asked you guys, I told you.
You're right.
College basketball coaches are notoriously superstitious. We will not take Vangelis Zugrast out of the starting lineup until we lose a game. And it was exactly what we kind of thought it was going to be. He started. He still only played 8 minutes. Frew played 23. Ollie, as Roman mentioned, I kind of didn't realize until I rewatched the game on part of it Saturday, part of it yesterday. He had 5 assists in this game. I remember
them were some dime,
gorgeous passes.
Dime to Ryan. The other one was to Wooly, I believe.
He had a great pass to Adrian.
I think he might have had the pass to the Rogers 3 as well.
Maybe. That was a great ball movement play.
Yeah, he was just heads up knowing who the open player was.
But yeah, I mean, he had 8 points. I mean, he hit the logo 3, he hit another 3, and then maybe most impressive of all, like, he scored a contested layup on Uday. I was like, okay, this officially is the flu game.
And you could tell he was huffing and puffing.
Oh, he looked terrible. Like they would show him on during the breaks. There was the one break after he scored the hit the 2 threes where they're like, yeah, they talk about the Ramadan and how he's not able to take medicine or drink fluids or eat food from sunup to sundown. But I mean, he looks like he's about to die. As the camera's in, I'm like, can we get a mercy pan to somebody else here? I don't need to see Ali Khalifa looking like he's on the verge of just collapse.
Did Abubakar Traore?
He did last year.
He was actually playing while that was happening.
Yeah,
too.
I remember it being a talking point last season as well. What did we think though of? Obviously we were at a disadvantage in the front court in this game. Miami's big, physical. They like scoring at the rim more than they like scoring from the outside. Zoo, I thought, played pretty well. Sananda did some good things.
I thought he had a great second half.
Who? Which one?
Sananda.
Okay.
He had that one stop there where they come in, the kind of broken play, drops to the basket. He gets to stop
hit a block.
The rebound.
Yeah.
Just contesting. He did as much as he could out there for a team that was forcing the will with Renew down onto the block, getting us up and jumping off the ground.
I think it's gotten to a point where we just need to, and you guys can agree or disagree, we need to reassess how we kind of view Sananda in games like this, because we keep looking at him as some type of guy who's going to magically become the type of big, physical, bruising center that we want him to be. he's not that player. He's just not. Like,
not even honest, Mamu.
no, I've lowered the expectations. I thought with those lowered expectations, he was like okay in this game. But man, there are some times where he just disappears, and you're like, dude, you've got to give us something.
He simply has not learned how to throw his weight around. He doesn't
hasn't.
know how to use his shoulders.
I'm like,
He has a soft touch. I've seen it. You've seen it in the practice clips. You've seen it in games against teams that haven't sent two bodies at him. As soon as there's a second body down there or a player that's able to hold his ground and keep his arms up in the air vertical, Frew like lowers his body to try to throw his shoulder into players like he's like a running back or something, and it just doesn't work.
There's a great movie, again showing my age, Swingers, where they're trying to hype up this guy who's like, he's very shy around girls, and they're like, you think you're the sad bunny? You're this big bleeping bear, man. You got these claws, and you're looking at these claws, and you're like, how do I kill the bunny with these claws? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm just standing there. That's how I feel watching Sananda Frew play basketball. I'm like, you've got all the skills. You've got the size.
That's my issue.
Like,
it's the size.
figure out how to use the claws, man.
Your legs don't look like Ali Khalifa's. They don't look like James Scott's. You've got the biggest thighs on the floor every time you step out there. You should be able to throw that thing around and command what you want in the paint, and he doesn't do it.
Let's calm that thing down a little bit, okay? I don't want no. He already does enough thing throw
the thing around
on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, every time they threw the ball on the block to either Uday or more often Renew, it was the same exact thing. Like, Renew bullies him in the paint a little bit, and Sananda's like, all right, just foul. Like it's all I can do now. And I was like, at some point, it's the same conversation we've been having for like the last 3 weeks. You got to do your work before the ball gets thrown to the post. Someone needs to tell him, pick up your man right at the three-point line. Sananda just hangs out below the basket, and then like Renew or whoever he's guarding posts up. He's like, all right, time to start playing. You're already buried at that point. Like, he gets buried on the block every single time because he doesn't start working until the guy like is calling for the ball 5 feet away from the bat. Like,
and on the offensive end,
on
the flip side, in that same scenario, it's like he was never taught, hey, you can push and muscle your way through this guy without the ball being
exactly. He
needs to watch some Pau Gasol highlights.
He needs to watch some Zoo. Like Zoo gets that. If we could put like Sananda's size into Zoo's like brain and motor, we would really have something there. I mean, Zoo did play 8 minutes, did not grab a rebound, but had a couple of baskets, which was good to see. Active like he always is, but there's only so much he can do. I mean, he's given up like 5 inches to Renew and to Uday when he's out there. Like, I thought he did as well as he could, given the disadvantages that he's got. Frew had moments where he was okay, but for the most part, he was kind of what you expected him to be in this game. The guy that I thought, I mean, what is going on with Kanai? Like, he comes back from the injury. He looks like Superman. He looks like the absolute game changer. I don't know how closely you guys watch him when he's playing defense. He's killing us defensively. Like, it's not just,
he's slow every time.
I mean, it's not just, he's like lacking aggression on offense. He's lost defensively. Like, he just got beaten time after time when he was out there. He was killing us.
He generally looks like he doesn't understand how to use his length anymore. Whereas, like, I feel like the one I see him get beat all the time is that, like, baseline drive from the corner.
Yes.
Because, like, he's always the guy that's on the left block where he has to go and close out on the shooter. And he goes to close out, and you would think a dude with almost a 7-foot wingspan, that's free. I mean, you're stuck. You know, you're trapped. I got the longest guy on the court on you. But he always shifts over to their, like, opposite shoulder and gives them baseline, but he's not quick enough to force them out of bounds, so they always blow by him.
He also just got beat for a rebound on a missed free throw when they ended up getting a 3 right after. It was like the only free throw they missed in the first half, and his guy just like went right around him and then stepped in front of him and grabbed. I was like, dude, and like that was the play. If you watch Kelsey on the sideline as they're running back, Kelsey just got his arms out. Like, what the hell was that? I mean, Kanai's got to give us something more, because every time he comes in now, I'm like, get Hadley back. Like, we can't put Hadley on the bench at all anymore. All right, we got to go to break. When we come back, I've got one last thought I want to get to. Then we'll go to the Gameday Men's Health text line. 502-414-1450 is the number. It's the Rutherford Show, 1450-961 The Big X. edition. Mike Rutherford Show. It's hour number 2 here on 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. We got basketball for you tonight on the Big X family of networks. Big-time 7th Region Championship game showdown between the two teams that have been the best in the Louisville area for most of this season. It's St. X and Ballard going head-to-head. Only one can move on to Rupp Arena for the boys' Sweet 16. 7 o'clock will be the tip-off time out there at Valley High School. You can hear the action on 1450 or 96.1, the Big X. Let's get it done. Roman, do you have a pick? St. X versus Ballard tonight.
Give me St. X.
X obviously has been, they were preseason number 1. They were number 1 for a long portion of the time. They split the 2 regular season meetings. Both were single possession. Love Ballard with Cole Edlin and Mason Grivna, but I'm going with X as well.
The odds on that?
I would say if it was a spread, I'd say like X minus 2.5 maybe.
I'd take it.
That's high school basketball odds maker Mike Rutherford there. Not an official line. Both teams very good. Both teams, if they win, will have a good shot at making a deep run. I think their toughest game might be the first game where they play. It's the whatever region the Northern Kentucky is with Covcath and those teams. They'll play somebody very good in the first game. But let's get it done. Assumption knocked off Sacred Heart, ended their 5-year state championship game-winning streak. The Rockets will move on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in like 20 years. And then Bullet East, we just lost Matt Childress, but his Bullet East squad won the girls' 6th region title. Congrats to them. We got Mike Rutherford and Roman Kelly here with you on a Monday edition of the show. We were reacting to Louisville's big win over Miami on Saturday. We talked a little bit about the women's basketball team's loss to Duke and everything in between. Now it's your turn to take over a little bit here on the Gameday Mens Health text line, 502-414-1450. Before we get to them, Roman, can we take like 20 seconds and is it okay to make fun of UK for a second?
Just a little bit.
Playing on the first day of the SEC tournament. First time ever. Mark Pope before the season saying, we've got 27 former UK players that made NBA rosters. And we led the nation and made threes last season. 27 divided by 3 equals 9, which was a very roundabout way of trying to give the fan base something that they wanted. Turns out the man knew what he was talking about, Roman. They did get 9. It just so happened to be 9th place in the SEC. Worst conference finish in program history. This is your guy. I know we haven't had exactly a overachieving season, but we also don't have a $22 million roster, and we didn't want to hang banners after we beat Purdue in a meaningless exhibition game. The amount of UK fans that fought me, they're like, you only said that exhibition games shouldn't be taken seriously before you guys lost to Kansas and we beat Purdue. I'm like, I wrote this story 2 days ago talking about how college basketball fans are going to have to realize preseason doesn't actually matter. Doesn't matter.
We should be top 5. We just beat the number 1 team.
Then you lost to Georgetown. And by the way, Purdue kind of stinks. Roman, you may not have been – I don't think you've ever been more right about anything you've said on the show.
Ever.
Than your Purdue bold proclamations before the season. I don't think anybody else was saying it as adamantly as you were.
Well, I still need them to lose in the Sweet 16.
You still look pretty justified.
How far out of that top 5? Yes.
I mean, they've got 8 losses. They're 18th in the country. They've lost 4 of their last 6.
This could be one of the best offenses ever.
The offense has been good. It hasn't been. They're not number 1 in the country in offense. They're second. But yeah, there's talk about them being one of the best offensive teams in college basketball history. Braden Smith is going to be the all-time assist leader he is the all-time assist leader in college basketball history,
which is cool.
I don't think he's going to be a first-team All-American. I don't think he's not going to be Big Ten Player of the Year. I'm not sure he's going to be first-team All-Big Ten. He's been just okay relative to preseason standards and expectations.
I knew when they held a players' team meeting, they were cooked.
I mean, that's always that's like the final sign of the apocalypse. When the players' team meeting, that's when you know things are done. Just not great. Great weekend of college basketball. It's going to be another fantastic week of college basketball. I got Alcorn State, Alabama State up on the screen. SWAC opening round. Oh, it's all happening right now. Gameday Men's Health text lines 502-414-1450. If you have needs in the areas of weight loss, sexual performance therapy, peptides, and more, GameDayMensHealth.com has you covered. They're redefining men's wellness with no shortcuts and just results. Visit GameDayMensHealth.com to find out what we're talking about. Texter says, this is Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville. I'm not sure how far this team can go, but I urge everyone to enjoy the ride. It's March, baby. Even if the magic runs out, enjoy the run. Also, I'm not sure I can remember such a lovely weekend of basketball. Miami versus Ohio on Friday and all those crazy championship games on Sunday. Here's some sneaky teams I don't want to face. Northern Iowa, High Point, TCU. I mean, I would love to face Northern Iowa or High Point because it would mean that we've played. I mean, those teams aren't going to be seeded where we could play them in the first round. Northern Iowa was a 6th seed in the Missouri Valley tournament. I would enjoy playing them. High Point scores a lot. High Point also, after talking to some people, they should win the Big South. What I was told was they spend more money on their roster than the rest of the conference combined.
Sheesh.
When that's the case, like, you better damn well win that league. They got a lot of offensive talent there. Still, it's still a low major team. TCU, I'd prefer someone else if we do get them in like a 6-11 game. That would be tough. Did you watch any of the Miami-Ohio game on Friday?
I did.
Madness, dude.
It was.
I mean, just insane shot making. I mean, the audible bleep Miami chants from the Ohio crowd. Miami, I mean, like that's how good of a rivalry Miami versus Ohio is. That team just finished the 6th perfect regular season in the modern history of college basketball, and everyone on that team's reaction the second the buzzer sounded was just to go right to the student section and just mother F them up and down. Like, just everybody middle fingers. You've got, I mean, just the camera zooming in on the Suter, Peter Suter, who started his career at Bellarmine, just saying, bleep you, bees. It was incredible theater. Cups are flying from the stands. Amazing game. The Daniel Plasevich, or whatever his name was, scoring 37 points for them, but missing the short floater at the end of regulation. Remarkable theater. College basketball is the best. It was crazy.
A lot of madness this weekend.
A lot of mad. I mean, yesterday was a fantastic Sunday of hoops, too, and we're just getting started. Texas, start Woolley. If Mikel comes back, he can split time with McNeely on a load management plan of 15 to 20 minutes. I don't think that's going to happen. If Mikel comes back and he's healthy enough to be a full go, he's going to start. If Mikel comes back, let's say he's 100% good to go for Wednesday's game, I'd still like to see Adrian start.
I would too.
I don't think he will, but I'd like to. And I say that, Isaac's played 2 of his better games in the last 2 games. Not just from, he made some outside shots. He had 5 assists in the game on Saturday. I think, I'll look it up right now. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that's a season high for him, right?
It is.
5 assists.
Don't think he had more than 4.
No, he had 4 twice. I mean, I'm scrolling down his game log. A lot of 0 assist games in there. 2 games where he had 4, and then I think just 1 other game where he had 3. So he's playing. He's been playing better, and dare I say, a little bit better defensively. I think he's done some good things. He's clearly working hard defensively. He's just not a very good defensive player. And there was that one play late where he very clearly took a charge. He got bulldozed by the Washington kid, and they just didn't come. It was like a full-on, left hand extended, like a running back, like Isaac Brown, or not Isaac Brown. Who was it? Was it Kewan, who just trucked the dude in the Clemson game this past year? That's exactly what it looked like. Just ran through him, no call whatsoever. I guess that's the breaks you get on the road, but I thought Isaac did a lot of really good things in both games last week. Having said that, you kind of need Adrian. Adrian Woolley is a guy who can cook. He's making plays for you right now, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. I'd love to see more of Woolley as we get into the postseason. Texas, hey, Mike. I'm glad we got a win. It's become apparent we're going to have to win NBA Jam-esque shootouts from here on out, especially with rematches with SMU and Miami looming. I hope in the offseason PK puts that Miami game, our last 3 losses, and the remaining games on scouts. Take a hard look at his defensive philosophy, though. We're absolute Swiss cheese at this point. and we're going to have to play that well on offense to win going forward. It does kind of feel like that's how we're going to have to beat good teams.
Yeah, when you can't rely on your front court to be dominant in any facet, pretty much.
There were also there were a couple things late where I was just like, so when we go up 82-81, I think we went up 82-81 on the wrap pass from Adrian to Sananda. And I love him, and he played really well. But Ryan Conwell is just watching the ball as the Washington kid just drifts to the corner. And it was just a simple pass. Like, it's very simple. Like, Donaldson just throws a two-hand chest pass to Washington. Conwell's 5 feet away from him, just splashes it from the corner. They go up by 2. And that cannot happen. Like, you've got to I know that all of our guards are worried about helping off because they know that whoever's guarding the ball is going to get beat. But you can't leave a shooter wide open in the corner in that situation. And it was just he wasn't trying to. He just got caught doing the one thing you can't do defensively in that situation. Way too much of that stuff. Can we talk about something also that was a little bit of a negative?
What's that?
I don't want to poo-poo on the win because it was incredible. And like I said at the beginning of the show, the good far outweighed the bad. We didn't exactly handle the last minute plus.
Not the first time this has happened.
Great. I mean, at a certain point, like, this is a coaching thing. Like, I thought Pat Kelsey did a great job having the guys prepared and doing all this stuff. But we're up 1 with 1:08 to go, and we sat on the ball like we were up by 5. It just didn't run anything. And then when we decide what we're going to run, Kelsey realizes that McNeely's in the wrong corner, and he's yelling at Javon and McNeely to switch, and we end up with Isaac taking a fall away catch and shoot from the corner that hits the side of the backboard. Like, we just wasted a possession. Like, you can't. The clock isn't that important at that point. What's important is adding to your lead. Like, that's a situation where I think you've got to go. I mean, we were for as much as we've struggled at times in half-court sets this season, we were getting really good stuff out of our half-court, I thought, in this game, especially in the second half when they started pressing up on us and trying to take away the outside shots. Like, that's a situation, feel free to agree or disagree, Roman, where I say, like, run your normal stuff. Act like it's a 1-point game with 4 minutes left. We don't, like,
I don't want to see playing the clock till it's down to the last 3 possessions.
Like you can't run out 75 seconds of action. They're going to get the ball with time to either, even if you score, like, tie the game right back up.
And in this last 10 minutes of play, they've been scoring at a, not high rate, but they've been getting baskets.
Yeah.
And been getting free throws.
Exactly. Getting a bucket in that situation is far more important than burning 30 seconds of clock and getting it to, like, where there's 42 seconds left when they get the ball as opposed to a full-on minute. I was stunned that we did that. Like,
it's not the first time we've done that.
No, we do it way too often.
Memphis or somebody went on a run earlier before the conference play started on our home floor, and he called for it. You tell him, you see Pat Kelsey tell Mike Hill.
Exactly.
He puts the hands down, like, just literally wait this possession out and then find your shot at the end of it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's so opposite of what we did at the end of games last year, too, and I just don't understand that.
We also do it if we're up by, like, 8 with 3 minutes left. He'll do that where he's like, just dribble the air out of the ball, and then, like, we'll start the offense with 5 seconds left on the shot clock and not get anything good.
It's one thing when you're trying to create a mismatch or a switch off the ball. We weren't doing that. We're just sitting there waiting.
And then, we go down the other end. We get nothing out of that possession. They go down. I thought we forced a decent a shot that we were fine with them taking, and then, of course, nobody blocks out. Kid gets the tip in. And then, I mean, if we're just being honest, we didn't do anything the last possession besides, like, Adrian just dribbled the ball and then took a step-back 3.
Yeah, guarding somebody who's scared to be guarded, or he's being guarded by someone who doesn't really want to be guarding him. That's all that was.
If he misses that shot, and he didn't, but if he does miss that shot, a lot of people are like, 2 biggest offensive possessions of the game, we didn't really do anything, and it looked ugly. But, it's not a game of ifs. He made the shot. That's all that mattered. And then it was Miami that came down there and kind of screwed the pooch on their last possession. But, it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to have to get better with last minute how we handle those types of situations in one possession games.
Definitely.
Texter says, I'm so happy the Cards pulled off the road win at Miami. on Saturday. But can we talk about Frew? The kid thinks he's 5'6" in the paint when he passes it out to an outside shooter when he's 1 foot from the basket. Oh, I was losing my mind. I mean, I tweeted it. The one play where he had a layup that was going to be slightly contested, but he passed it off, and Isaac missed the shot from the corner. And then Woolley gets the great offensive rebound by Adrian and makes an incredible pass to Frew for what looks like is going to be a wide-open dunk or a layup. And he passes it out to Javon, who hits the three. If Javon had missed the shot, I would have had to have gone for a drive.
They would have pulled through.
I mean, you can't, you're 6'11", dude. Just dunk the ball, put it in, make the layup. Are we worried? I mean, I mean, it's too late in the season, I guess, to change anything dramatically. How do we divvy up the minutes of the 5 moving forward?
I think that the last couple of games is pretty accurate. I think if you're going to start Zugris, I'd like to see him extended a little bit longer. Just see what he can do with his screening, with his off-ball stuff, with his ability to potentially fight for those tips on offensive rebounds, and maybe get under the skin of somebody in the front court on the other side.
Yeah.
I think using him with the way that we have, buy into it even more in the beginning of games if you're not going to kind of make him thoroughly. And if everything else after that kind of becomes matchup-based, then I'd give him more minutes in that first segment. Outside of that, Frew's the better player. I don't know why Cason Pryor's not seeing the floor in a game like this.
Well, he didn't even make the trip. He was sick.
Oh, that's right. He got asked today about Cason Pryor. What'd you think of that answer? I mean, he says, got to be ready. Yes, I expect him to play. Yes.
He's like, always stay ready. I mean,
and then he kind of puts a bunch of emphasis on his last point with that comment where he's like, I don't care what it is, effort, da-da-da-da. You got to be ready to play at all times. It's like you're making these statements as if that's the expectation and everyone knows that, but it also kind of sounds like that's why he's not playing. Like he's not ready. Like he's not doing the things that he needs to do to get his number called.
He's apparently got the flu, which is what, the flu's going around everywhere.
I didn't check the injury report before the game.
Yeah, they said he had the flu. They said Ollie also had flu-like symptoms. And that
he almost didn't make the trip.
Which also at the same time, like they're like showing him on the bench, like talking right in Conwell's face. I was like, all right, can we get like, can we get like a mask or something? Can we get like, bring back social distancing just for Ollie right now, because I don't want the whole team getting sick right as we go into the postseason. But I think that's what, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Cason, the only big time minutes that he's played over the past like month and a half were because we had guys hurt and guys in foul trouble in that game. And like, that was it. I don't think, unless it's a situation like that again, where a couple of bigs get in foul trouble, or, Ollie's sick or Sananda's sick or something like that, we're not going to see much of Cason.
Then
down the stretch.
Frew and Zugris, because you're not getting what you need from Kanai at that 4 spot right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I want to see
Ollie.
Yeah, of course. I want to see a Zugris Frew rotation as well.
We saw a little bit of Ollie and Frew together in this game, which worked okay. Obviously did not work great defensively, but we tried something different. We're clearly trying, like we're mixing and matching different lineups even this late in the season, as well as some different defensive stuff. Just throwing some stuff at the wall and see what can stick, and I don't fault them for it. It didn't exactly – it's not like we played great defense at any point in this game, but they're trying different stuff. Texture says, Boxcar Bob here. First off, shout out to all the Cards fans, myself included, who made this win happen by betting the Miami money line. We sacrificed our wallets for the good of Card Nation. Mid-range McNeely, welcome to the team. I wish you would have joined earlier in the season, but we'll take March. And does Wooley's performance on Saturday change either of your opinions on bringing him back next year as the primary point guard or shooting guard?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Price of the brick's going up.
It's crazy. One game can change things. With that performance, whatever Arkansas was saying they were interested in, they're now willing to pay more with those kinds of games.
But would you bring him back if it were to be the primary point guard?
If the primary shooting guard is someone that we're viewing to be better than him, yes.
I don't think he can play point, like for a full season. He did a lot of really good things in this game. There are also times like he just doesn't have. He's not a tremendous passer. He can make good, but he's not like. You see the difference when Michael comes back, and I know comparing him to Michael is not fair. Michael's biggest asset is supposed to be his NBA level passing, but like that cross court pass in an offense like this, Adrian doesn't make that pass that much.
But and that wraparound pass
was great. It was great, but he's still a little bit weak going to his right too. Like, teams,
it's weird because he could get by his man going to the right side with just as much ease, but the decision making when he does so,
he wants to go left, and that's fine. That's the vast majority of good college guards, but I think to me it makes him more of a 2. And look, maybe I'm short selling him. Maybe he can improve dramatically in those types of areas during the offseason. But I think we're already going after some other point guards in this class. I'd love to have Adrian back as the 2 in that.
If you get him for a reasonable price and you bring in a PJ Haggerty at the 2,
I don't want PJ Haggerty. I know that's a talk. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there, but we may not have a choice.
Or if you could bring him and Abeka Corey in, let them both go out there and just be.
Well, if we got Abuka Corey, I'd be like, hell yeah. I don't think you're able to bring both back. Corey's going to demand
$2 million.
A huge. I mean, the guy that I'm looking, the Quinn Ellis kid from Italy is who I'm hoping we can bring in. If you bring him in, 22-year-old to play point guard, who's been playing at a very high level professionally for the last few years, 6'5", I think runs a pro style offense. I would feel very confident about putting him next to Adrian, letting those two cook. I think that'd be great. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Texas Riddler here. Great win. I'll admit I bet Miami money line before the game, and then I doubled down at the half, and I tripled down at 5 minutes to go. Look, we don't lose when we're up by 5 minutes. That was the other 2 I get. If we're up at the 5-minute mark, you can't bet against us at that point. I'll be doing this on any tough game moving forward. Some thoughts as we move forward. Pay Wooly whatever he wants. Hopefully this puts the wind into Pat's sails for the tourney. Give me SMU on Wednesday. I want the quad 1 opportunity. Then let's beat Miami and Virginia and rematch Duke. I want the best tourney seeds possible to buck this tourney win drought. 6 seed be damned. Shoot for a 4. If UNC doesn't end up as a 7 or lower after the injury news, I'm going to be livid. They got throttled by Duke. They made it look a little bit better than it should have at the end there.
I hit the plus 106 money line.
Oh, you did?
First Louisville money line all season long. Football or basketball. Finally bet them. Not doing it again.
I saw, was it Rob Doster, who they were doing their Phil 68 intro for the day on Saturday morning, and he was basically like, is the Miami Louisville line the trappiest line of the year? He's like, what are we missing? 1.5 point. And this is when Miami was favored by 1.5 points. Louisville has been terrible all season long in these situations. Miami's won 7 of their last 8. It's senior day. They're going to have the biggest crowd of the season. And he's like, it just feels like a trap. It was a trap. It was a trap. Sometimes Vegas knows what they're doing. They got all of us as Louisville fans.
I think they're kind of a hectic team a little bit, and we thrive against those hectic teams, except Tennessee.
There's also, they didn't have to play Duke.
They're a little overrated.
I think there's a little.
They're actually not that good. They're not top 22 good.
No, the metrics have them more where I think they deserve to be, which is that 29-30 range.
And they're athletic, and the numbers, because of how well they get to the paint and to the basket in their wins, are going to probably skyrocket them. But watching them play again, I said it in the Run with Roman show. When their sets worked, they look like an elite team. When they didn't and they had to go out there and figure it out, looked like they had a rookie coach.
They're a lot like us last year.
They are.
If we're just being honest. I know the comparisons are being made, and they've got 5 more. They got 5 conference losses. We had 2 last year. They had no real bad losses. Their only non-conference losses were to Florida and BYU on neutrals, but both those were by double digits. No shame in that. But they didn't have any, the wins that we thought were good in the non-con don't look that, like Georgetown sucks. Ole Miss ended up sucking. You didn't beat anybody really that good. And in conference play, you kind of just beaten who you were supposed to beat and lost who you were supposed to lose to, and you didn't have to play Duke. So I think they're a good team. I understand why they're going to be in that sort of 7, 8, 9 range. I don't think they can win more than a game in the tournament. If I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about it. But yeah, I don't think that they're realistically a top 20 team in college basketball. Speaking of the rankings, we did jump back into this week's AP poll, the final poll of the quote-unquote regular season. The Cards 24th in the AP poll. So 1 week out of the whole season where we weren't ranked. Something, right?
Not bad.
It's okay. It's The AP poll didn't really matter, but whatever. We're okay. Mentioned that we're number 14 in the net rankings. We are 16th on Ken Palm. The BPI still loves us. It has us at number 11. Predictive metrics really like us. The resume metrics, not quite as much, but we did move up by virtue of that road win over a very good Miami team, at least in the resume metrics. So we're sitting pretty. We're sitting pretty. Bracket matrix updates. Almost every single bracket now that's been updated over the last 48 hours has Louisville as a 6 seed. They are, right now, in aggregate, they are the third strongest 6 seed. There are 2 recently updated brackets that have them up to a 5. Just 2 brackets have them down as a 7. So, knock on wood. Hopefully the bracketologists are right this year about where Louisville sits going into conference play, because they were not last year. Let's take a break. When we come back, more from you guys. We'll take some YouTube chat comments as well on the stream. It's your hour, continuing after the break. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, 1450 96.1 The Big X. o'clock hour here. Mike Rutherford Show, 1450, 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Roman Kelly is in the house. Talking more hoops here as we continue to react to Louisville's 92-89 victory over number 22 Miami on the road. Also, talking just general college basketball stuff that's going on. Roman, are you ready before we go back to the text line and the YouTube chat?
Yes.
Our latest helping of which of these two teams from these mock brackets would you rather play?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go to, we'll do Lenardi today because I know he updated it. I mean, Joe, Lenardi's such a just charge. Every time he's on, I'm like, I don't think you actually watch these teams play. Okay, all right, we've got, Lenardi's got Auburn in the field. What do they have to do to not be, they're 16-15. This is ridiculous. Okay. Well, we're going to use his bracket projection because he's got two teams for us.
Because of Stephen Pearl's quote.
I mean, did Stephen Pearl is he bullying Joe Lenardi? Stephen Pearl couldn't bully me.
Well, I think he just said something about, like, did you hear what he said? He said this our resume stacks up against anybody's in college basketball. Like,
I mean, I heard what he said. I get, like, trying to vouch for your team, but it doesn't. You got 15 losses. At some point, having 15 losses has to matter. We can't have 500 teams as at-large bids into the NCAA tournament, but Joe Lenardi says we can. So, all right, in his latest bracket update, Lenardi has us as a 6. He has us playing the winner of a first 4 game between VCU and Auburn. VCU out of the Atlantic 10. They have been very good down the stretch. They're 24-7 overall. They're 15-3 in conference play. They just beat the Dayton Flyers in Dayton to end the regular season. Auburn, as mentioned, 16-15. They've got one of the best wins in college basketball this season, a road victory over Florida. They knocked off Arkansas at home. They beat St. John's on a neutral. They beat NC State at home. The wins are good. The problem is they've got 15 losses. They went 7-11 in the SEC, and they've lost 10 of their last 12 games. Their only wins over that span, over Kentucky in controversial fashion, and then over LSU, who's the worst team in the SEC. Which of these two teams would you rather play in the first round of the NCAA tournament?
out of
Auburn or VCU?
yeah. I want to say Auburn.
Do you want to back that up with anything?
I think that the guard play could be an interesting matchup for us, but they've been a bad team. They don't do the little stuff well. I think that if you can come out like you did against this Miami team and you be more prepared, Auburn has shown that they will have lots of lapses in their play style. VCU plays hard.
They do.
I think they just play a little bit harder than Auburn, and I'm scared of the teams that play harder than us.
I'm still picking VCU, who I'd rather play, which goes against everything that I don't think Auburn has any business being in the NCAA tournament unless they like make it to the SEC championship game. There's never been an at-large team with 16 losses. There have been 3 that had 15, and they were in historically great conferences. I think 2 of them were in the SEC, and one of them was one of the years where the Big 12 was so good. If you are a 17-16 team, you don't belong in the NCAA tournament. But if they are able to get in, there are reasons to believe that this would be a team that can win a couple games. The main one being they've got 2 stars. Like they've got 2 guys that can absolutely fill it up. Tahad Pettiford hasn't been as good as I thought he was going to be this year. I think part of that is, he was expecting to play in Bruce Pearl's system, and he ended up with Timu Bruce Pearl with his son. And he also had to share some of the spotlight with Keyshawn Hall. Keyshawn Hall's a beast. Averages 20 a game. He's that classic 6'7" power forward who can score at all 3 levels, who's a super athlete that has killed us all season long. He's, I think, just as good, if not better, than Trevin Brazil, who did whatever he wanted to against us when we played Arkansas back in December. That coupled with the fact that Pettiford, when he gets hot, can be as much of a single-handed scoring machine as anybody in college basketball would scare me. Now, I think there's also a world where Auburn just kind of lays down if we smack them in the face early and we run away and we beat them by 25. And I don't think you get that with VCU because, like you said, they're a tough-nosed team that plays really, really hard. I still think the ceiling for this Auburn's more talented than VCU.
Yeah.
And when it comes to our team, I'll take the less talented opponent. They also have what did Caden Magwood do for them this year? the kid from Louisville that everybody was saying we need to go get. And
I think he had a slow start. He had a couple good games, and he started losing his minutes again, I thought.
it looks like he hasn't played since January. I don't know if he got hurt. He was only averaging 3 points a game before he got hurt, or before he stopped playing. I don't know if I'm assuming he got hurt. No, suspended. There you go. Those were kind of Cade Magwood suspension that has turned into the freshman being fully removed from the rotation for more than a month. So he's eligible now. He's just not. They're not playing him at all. I mean, look, there was talk about that's kind of why the Magwood thing we backed off. That the visit didn't go great, and we were. I mean, it always sounds like a loser's mentality, like we're making excuses. What I was told, and I think what I said on the radio when it happened, was that we very much just backed off the Caden Magwood thing. And when people kept saying we got to go get him, I was like, it's not going to happen. Like we are not interested. And stuff like this was kind of why. So there's that. Do you want to take some YouTube comments?
Yes.
YouTube stream is Big X Sports Radio Louisville. You're always welcome to chime in there. We got a couple of comments there. Let's see here. Midwest Reaction says, the seeding stuff confuses me. We're top 15 or so in every advanced metric. The only place we aren't top 20 is in the AP poll, which they don't use. Why are we not projected to be a 4 or a 5 seed? Well, like I said, there are a couple that do have us projected as a 5. It's important. Like, the predictive metrics aren't the only metrics that are on the team sheet. There are resume metrics where we don't stack up nearly as well. If you look at our team sheet right now, we are in the predictive metrics very, very good. BPI 11, T rank 14, KenPom 16, and then our net is 14. The resume metrics are where we slip. KPI 27th, strength of record 26th, JNG 23rd, and then wins above bubble, which we're calling WAB now, not WAB, apparently, is 21st. I guess it makes sense. Like there's, you don't hail a cob, you hail a cab. You don't
go clock in at my jab.
You don't clock in at your job. Well, oh god, well, I guess that's right. So it could be WAB. But that's JAB.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't get a
WAB is more correct.
You don't get a slob of ribs. You get a slab. It should be WAB. I just said WAB. But 21st in wins above bubble. So those metrics all have us more as the 5-6 line. And then I think that's when it comes down to looking at those tiebreaker kind of situations where it's like, all right, these teams are very similar metrics. Who should be the 5? Who should be a 6? I think that's when our lack of quad 1A wins comes into play. Thankfully, we do have 7 just straight Q1 wins. But I do think there's a world where if we win 2-3 games, we're not just a 5 seed, but like we're one of the middle 5 seeds. And I think if we won the ACC tournament, there's a possibility we could get all the way up to like the last 4 if things broke our way. Like our resume is stronger than people give it credit for. But I do think the committee also does take into consideration, wins against teams that are in the field. That killed us last year. We still only beaten, I think, 4 teams that are definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament. So that kind of works against us. And we still haven't beaten a single team that is looking like it's going to be seeded better than us. So I think that's where it becomes difficult to put Louisville up there as like a 5. But the good news is that middle of those at large bids this year, the teams just aren't overly strong. So people aren't jumping us either. Let's see. Tartan Choice says, play the Waltz post-game audio. We can do that. Did you see he got kind of, I thought it was a good response by Jeff.
I didn't listen to this one.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just send it to you. We can do it. He gets asked about, you've had a couple of down years and the expectations for the program, and Walls very much pushes back against the criticisms of the program over the last few years, where he's just like, we went to the NCAA tournament. Like, it's tough to make the NCAA tournament. It's tough to be a top 4 team in the ACC. I thought the response was good. He definitely defended the consistency of the program. even the last 2 years, which have been down relative to his own standards, notwithstanding. I just message you.
Pulling it up here.
See if we can get it. It's worth playing.
Loading up right now.
Okay.
Maybe an antidote for some of the laziness. Over the last couple years, obviously this program hasn't been, to the standard that you built for it, being pretty regularly first and second.
We've absolutely sucked. I know. I've been trying to get fired.
Well,
my SWA's back there, and I think if you'll start a GoFundMe, I think she'll accept it, and I'll take a buyout.
I'm sure Kelly. I'm sure Kelly Graves and Eugene said the same at one point.
Beaten the first round. We've been to the tournament every year and won 20 games for 16 or something straight. So that's the narrative, and that's what we do in this business. So we've been to the tournament every single year, got beaten the first round 2 years ago, a second round loss, and then 5 straight Elite Eights before that.
That's right.
So now, where are you going with this question? Because you're comparing us to Oregon.
No, not at all.
That's what you just said, right?
Sure, but
okay, now
you gotta let me finish the question if we're going to be doing the back and forth.
record.
Let me finish the question if we're going to do it back and forth.
Well, shit. Let's be accurate.
Well, I'm gonna set you up for something that's going to be a good question. Just let me get there. The question I had for you is, how have you managed to take those 2 years of fans or people that might not know otherwise, or people in the media who might not know otherwise, and stay the course, build things into where you're right back here in a championship game? Has there been anything that's been different over the last year?
I can't help ignorance.
Okay.
I mean, but that's if you're ignorant and you don't know anything about the sport or the game, you're going to be ignorant. You can't help it. It's why you don't argue with stupid, because you'll eventually lose. Okay? Because they'll wear you down. So you don't. Yes, our expectations are extremely high. There's no question about it. But our last 2 years, if somebody's going to say we had a bad year, I'd be like, what the hell are you looking at? It's because we're ignorant. Like, we got beaten the first round one year. We got upset. Our second round loss last year was a great game at TCU. And then, that's it. So I think in the 19 years now, our COVID year, we didn't have a tournament. Our third year, we didn't go to the tournament. We've gone to Sweet 16, I think, 12 times in like 15 years. But you don't hear about that. And you never even heard about it when we were going to 5 straight Elite Eights. Because it's got you got to be the one that they're focusing on. And there are a lot of teams out there. But that's where, if you want to grow this game, we got to do homework. We got to educate. There's no question about it. Kelly Graves, he's a friend of mine, but Lord, come on.
Jeff, you and I have talked about the games we've run into.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think the question was meant to be overly antagonistic, and then it got overly, like, that's where he pissed off Jeff, and he shouldn't have. When he brings up 2 coaches that have been fired because they had losing seasons and didn't go great. Kelly Graves was at Oregon and was Pac-12 Coach of the Year and then kind of fell off the face of the earth, and that's where you open the door for Jeff to just kind of stomp all over you, because he hasn't had that type of season yet. I do think it's reasonable to say that, the last 2 years were not as good as they've been under Jeff Walsh. Again, that's the incredibly high standard that he set.
A down year and a bad year are different things, though.
Right. Like, it's a down year. I totally agree. A down year for Louisville women's basketball, it is a season where you're like a 7 seed and you get beat in the first round, or a 6 seed and you get beat in the second round, because we're just used to being a 1, 2, or 3 seed that plays to the Sweet 16 and beyond every single year. But it's not, like, winning 20 games going to the NCAA tournament is not a bad year for 95% of college basketball on the men's or the women's side. And I think that's all that Jeff was saying. Granted, he was trying to get to a point where he's like, has anything changed this year to get back to where you were the 5 years before the last two, but it wasn't presented right. And then when he got challenged, he got a little bit overly defensive, and that's when it got like Jeff's going to kind of smack you around when that happens. I thought Jeff did a good job, though, handling it.
I think so, too. I mean, for how poorly he worded the first half of his question, I thought that media guy did a good job of still getting it out there, still getting that question all the way through.
Yeah. Tartan Chalice says, can we talk about Kenny Payne's coaching tree? Nolan Smith, also JK. Look.
Actually, I want to go back, though. Sorry.
Okay.
Jeff Walsh makes a great point there, though, about you can't be ignorant when looking at these kinds of things in women's college basketball because there's not enough talk on the teams that are good but not great. And he's right. I don't know how that changes going forward. You know, how do the teams that have still accomplishing something that are still having success but they're not LSU, South Carolina, and UConn, so they don't get the recognition?
Exactly.
It's unfair. So glad that he put an emphasis on that.
No, I mean, he is.
He's done that before. It's not anything new, but
You know, if we talked about if this were men's basketball, we would talk about the program entirely differently. You know, because we pay more attention to the teams that are
they're a powerhouse. They get grouped as a powerhouse, even
right.
though they haven't gotten to a championship.
Like we would not disparage a program that has not. You know, Louisville's been very, very good over the last 20 years, but we're not Tennessee historically or UConn historically or the programs that we're used to seeing winning national titles. If that were a team with similar accolades on the men's side that was a 6 seed losing in the second round to 3 seed LSU or whatever last year was, nobody would be like, oh my God, they've fallen off the face of the earth. But we do kind of view women's college basketball in terms of it's the teams, the 3 or 4 or 5 teams that we think can win a national title, and then everybody else. And we just kind of don't pay attention to what happens below that. And
acknowledge those coaches as much.
Exactly. He's not wrong at all. And
coach that's done what he's done in that time frame at one school is getting, shouts for best coach in the sport.
Yeah,
consistently
for sure. Now, at some point, you've got to win a national title if you want to be talked about in those terms. I think that's true with men's or women's basketball, but he knows that, and he has been remarkably good and remarkably consistent at Louisville, a program which, once again, it bears repeating, had never been to a Sweet 16 before he got here in 2007. Charles Josh said, can we talk about Kenny Payne's coaching tree with Nolan?
No.
No. I can't disparage Nolan Smith on this. He did a remarkably good job at Tennessee State. They're going to the NCAA tournament. He took over a program where he basically had to build the roster from scratch. He was a late in the process hire. They won the OVC regular season title, and they rolled through the conference tournament. And now they're going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since, I think, like 1996 or something along those lines. Like, there's no knocking it. Maybe he was...
I'll give him a hats off for taking
the
time to acknowledge all the things he learned what not to do under Kenny Payne. There's nothing that he learned under Kenny Payne that gave him success on what to do other than, how to be better.
Do we have
This is
more...
not Kenny Payne coaching tree stuff.
Do we have more sympathy for Nolan, again, reportedly, trying to sabotage Kenny Payne so that he could become the head coach at Louisville?
Yes, but didn't it happen right after he left? Something weird at Memphis?
Well, the weird thing was there were all these reports that he was getting the assistant job at Memphis, and then it just didn't happen. And then they finally announced it late. And yeah, I mean, there's just
he was the source of those reports, maybe about the Memphis job or something weird.
Oh, no question about that.
Yeah, okay, I'm just grouping that.
I think he was the source for a lot of reports. But look,
yeah, when I got more details about what happened on non-game days during the Kenny Payne era, I don't think that Nolan was sabotaging anything.
Maybe not handling the off-the-court stuff well has been a thing for Nolan. Doesn't mean he can't coach, right?
Yeah.
Like, finally got a head coaching job.
It doesn't mean he doesn't know ball. Yeah, exactly.
There's no way to like, lessen the job that he did. If you walk into the situation that he walked into and you win whatever they won, 24, 25 games, and you win dual regular season and conference tournament titles, like, you know what you're doing to a degree, like, without question. And he knew what he's doing. Like, I will absolutely say that. I think he did a great job with them, and they'll be 23-9 was their record this year, and they'll be going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in, I think, about 3 decades. I think, is that the last YouTube comment? No, Connor Will says, can someone please tell John Cart's 15 that he needs to take a shower? He's trying to do the no shower 2026 challenge. Can we leave John Cart's 15 alone? Text on the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Dolphins guy, I was waiting to see if we got a Dolphins guy text today. Dolphins guy says, I'm free. I hit my knees in a Kroger's when I saw the news. Two is gone, Roman.
Gone.
Who are they going to get? Who cares?
Quinn Ewers is going to just start next year.
What do we think? I mean, more pertinent to our interests, NFL news from the weekend, the Ravens go out there and get Max Crosby.
They do.
Whew. I mean,
all the odds change for the Ravens, Super Bowl chances and all that.
It feels like them recognizing that the Lamar window is closing. And if we're going to get this guy who's been an all-time NFL player but has never gotten to a Super Bowl, if we're going to get him over the hump, this is the time to swing big. That's what I feel like, at least.
Yeah. I like it for the sake of all the other new blood being there. Revamp the defense, get these new coaches in, go make something happen now.
I like it, too. I hope they can get it done. Text, hey, Mike, Louisville basketball is undefeated since you spilled your water. I saw, maybe you're the guy that said this on Twitter. Not saying, just saying, better than witchcraft. The water spill heard round the Commonwealth. Maybe turn things around, Roman. I was having a bad day. Maybe my bad energy, the bad energy seeping out of my soul, somehow congealed with the bad energy that was going on with Louisville basketball, and two negatives make a positive. There you go. I feel like it changed. Things have been different since the water spill, Roman.
You were having an all-time terrible day that day. So maybe, something shifted in the world that day.
I'm willing to sacrifice for the betterment of this basketball program and the city. Texas, my God, we did it. Got a big win on the road even without Michael. Thank God for Woolley. Shout out to the whole team for gutting that out. Now let's go make a run. Look, undefeated in March. Anything's possible. Ohio guy said I need an update on the texter who said they were betting their retirement on Miami covering. I don't believe they actually went through with it. Oh, people don't lie on this show. Nobody's ever lied on the text line. Nobody's ever lied on the internet. That person did it. They're on the street. Wife left them. Kids don't claim them. Homeless. Done. That's what happened. Texas, as someone who blamed Mike for his constant picking of us to win big games, it's only fair that I thank him for having the courage to pick against us. We wouldn't have done it without you. I was thinking about this now. I feel like I got to pick against us every single game.
No.
But I did not. I picked us to beat Syracuse on Tuesday, and I've always said I only do it. It only works if I'm honest about it.
Truthful, yes. You got to stay true.
I mean, I can see us losing to SMU on Wednesday, though. I can get there. I can get to a negative point on Wednesday if SMU's the opponent. If we play Syracuse, though, you're bleep out of luck. Like I will pick us to beat Syracuse. I don't think that Syracuse is going to go on a heroic run because they love Red Autry so much. I think that team is ready to be done, which is why I don't think there's any chance they beat SMU on Tuesday afternoon. But I could see us losing to SMU. We've done it once. We let them score 95 points.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I might pick against us on Wednesday. Well, it'll have to be Tuesday.
I feel like it's kind of a pick 'em spot.
I mean, here's the good thing. I say good. That game tips off at 4:30 tomorrow. It's not going to be over, obviously, when we get off the air. And then we can't do a show on Wednesday with the game going on. So, we're not going to get official predictions.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if SMU's up by 21 points at halftime, we can go ahead and end the show on Tuesday with official predictions. But, yeah, I mean, it's...
And game day music halfway through the show.
I don't... I also think that we kind of have to do the key to victory. I didn't get to do the Joker and the Thief thing on Friday because we couldn't hear anything. We were at Molly's, and maybe that's the key. Maybe I can't. We play the music without me doing anything.
Make it to where you can't hear it. You just got
that works.
You got to just feel the vibes for yourself. I like it.
I did love there was a guy who on Twitter over the weekend just said, I guess he'd seen some of my tweets and then started listening to the show. He's like, I'm new to Louisville. I'm a Tennessee fan. And you guys sounded like absolute crap from your remote on Friday, but you were funny. So I'm going to keep listening. I was like, all right. I was like, I promise it's moderately better when we're not when we're not on remote. You'll find the audio quality goes up when we.
That's cool.
Yeah. Texas Trevor Stepdad. Sounds like Roman and Matt are in a competition with Scoots and Gil to see who can have the least amount of sex with females.
Look, I got a girlfriend. Got everything I need.
They both have girlfriends.
She knows all these details as well. So
she knew who she was, silent up to.
Oh, she's got a weirdo.
You gotta let them know. That's I'm Mary's in the same boat. Scoots and Gil, I don't. Yeah, Roman and Matt are winning. I think that not in the no sex competition. Scoots and Gil are winning that one. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's hour number 3. I got a couple of quick nuggets to kick the hour off, and we still have a lot of text to get to. We'll make sure that your voice is heard on the radio. Coming up next, it's the Rutherford Show on the Big X.
for sure, cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight.
Monday edition of the Rutherford Show rolling on. It's hour number 3 out of 3 here on 1450 and 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Mike Rutherford and Roman Kelly. As March rolls on, we get ready for the ACC tournament on Wednesday. First games are tomorrow. The Cards will kick off play as the 6th seed at 2:30 against either 11th seeded SMU or 14th seeded Syracuse. We will have the Assumption Girls Sweet 16 game on during that time. Our sister station, 970 WGTK, will have the coverage of the Louisville men's basketball game. Roman, are you ready for a couple of hodgepodge nuggets that we have not talked about yet before we go back to the text line?
Always.
Louisville got a football commitment on Friday. Jordan Haskins, safety, 3-star out of Bryan Station, committed to Louisville over Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky. Kentucky. His dad, JT, did play for Louisville back in the day, so he's a legacy, but still the big dog. The big dog was flexing a little bit. He was letting the folks know that Kentucky wanted a kid. We got him. No shame in that. Pick us over, UK. That was the good recruiting news from the class of 2027. The bad recruiting news was during the game, actually, on Saturday, we got news that Jack Sorge, the class of 2027 quarterback commit, has now decommitted from Louisville. The writing's on the wall with this one. His dad, Jim, who was played for the Colts back in the day, played at Wisconsin. Wisconsin has made kind of a full court push to get him over recent weeks. He took a visit there recently. It sounds like they're offering him a ton of money. And you look at Louisville's quarterback room.
Set for a few years here, maybe. Potentially should be.
Maybe. Lincoln Keenals, I think the hope is he starts here for 2 seasons, plays really well, and then we hand things off to Briggs Cherry, who I know the staff is very high on. So maybe Sorge saw that situation and didn't really want to come in and compete a little bit. But he's not going to be a part of the program. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but whatever. Roman, one of the coolest stories in college basketball going on right now. Tonight is all about the mid-majors. We get a couple of high-major conference tournaments kicking off tomorrow. But tonight, I think 3 bids are going to be punched. 3 tickets are going to be punched to the tournament. The most interesting conference championship game tonight is happening in the Sun Belt. So the Sun Belt does this very weird thing where they stagger. They give like 7 buys, and people call it the Stairway to 7. Because they only play 2 games a night, and theoretically they set up their tournament as a week-long event where there are only 2 games every single night until the championship game on this Monday, where there's obviously just the 1 game. But if you are one of the bottom 4 seeds, you have to win 7 games in 7 days to win the Sun Belt Championship. Now, that's not going to happen. That will probably never happen. But we do have a team tonight that was the 10 seed that has the potential to win 6 games in 6 days to punch its ticket to the NCAA tournament. This has never happened in a conference tournament. Only 2 teams have ever won 5 games in 5 days. UConn back in 2011 when they eventually would go on to win the national title, and then NC State 2 years ago in the ACC when Kevin Keats led them to the Final Four a couple of weeks after that. Georgia Southern is the 10 seed in the Sun Belt. They started play all the way back last Wednesday in this tournament, and now they will potentially be playing for, or not potentially, they are playing for a trip to the NCAA tournament tonight against number 1 seed Troy, who played its first game of the tournament just last night. It started the semifinals. Georgia Southern started in the second round. Now, this is a little bit interesting for fans in this area because Georgia Southern's second leading scorer is Tyron Moore, who played at Male High School back in the day. Very good player. He's fun to watch. And their leading scorer is Spud Webb. Actual name, Spud Webb.
Wow.
Just like the NBA player. He dropped 33, I think, in yesterday's semifinal game. This is a very fun story. It's a wild story. They are an all-time Cinderella if they can pull this thing off tonight, knock off the number 1 seed in Troy. But if you're, just like a fan of local basketball, you also get a chance to see a local kid. Tyron Moore is averaging 16.3 points per game. He scored 40 in the quarterfinals against Coastal Carolina I think he just had 11 in the semifinals, but he has been on an all-time tear. Someone said like these two guys, Spud Webb and Tyron Moore, have both played more in their conference tournament, more minutes than Darren Peterson has this entire season. I don't know if that's accurate. It feels like it can't be, but it is they've played a lot. Moore started his career at Georgia Southern. He went to UAB last year for his junior year, didn't play as much as he would have liked, came back to Georgia Southern for his senior season, and he's been phenomenal for them this year. So check that out. 7 o'clock, ESPN2 tonight. Georgia Southern versus Troy. Cool story there. 6 games in 6 days. That's insane.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Can make it happen.
It's a lot. Also, shout out to Louisville City FC. They took down Lexington SC in their opener on Friday night.
Sour State.
Dramatic 2-1 win in the first leg of the Commonwealth Cup. They are in action at home for the first time this season on Saturday. They will take on Miami FC at 4 down there at Lynn Family Stadium. Card Chronicle readers, Mike Rutherford Show listeners, you can get discounted tickets. Just go to loucity.com/Card Chronicle or check out the link that I put on Card Chronicle news and notes today. It'll, either way, get you those discounted tickets. And then lastly, I know I already mentioned this. I'll mention it again. We got Ballard and St. X in the 7th Region Championship for the boys. Tonight, 7 o'clock at Valley. You can hear it right here on 1450 and 96.1, the Big X. Roman's rolling with the St. X crew. I'm taking St. X as well, but I think it's going to be – I got Ballard to cover the 2.5. It's going to be a 2-point game. These two teams very evenly matched. It's going to be a great game. Fantastic contest. What's the 6th region final? I think it's Butler and I know Butler beat WEB Du Bois, but I can't remember who they're playing. It's Butler versus somebody. J-Town, maybe. J-Town's defending champions. I think it's J-Town again. That's also going down. All right, 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line. Let's get to your thoughts. We have a lot of them, so we'll try to get to as many as we can over the next hour or so. By the way, Scoots did text in and confirm that if it's a lack of sex contest between him and Gil and you and Matt, he said we're definitely winning the lack of sex contest. Just confirmed it. No shame in Scoots' game. Texter says, this is Scoots Hater. Perfect timing. I let out an emphatic bang at a family gathering when AD hit that 3. Everyone looked at me and I responded with, I entirely thought he was going to miss it. What was your viewing situation for Saturday?
I was just at the house watching it.
I was a mess. I was like walking in between TVs.
Oh, yeah, standing, yelling at the TV.
I was on the outside TV for most of the game and just, I think, waking up the whole neighborhood or getting the whole neighborhood to call the cops. This was the biggest like freak out game I've had. When they got the tip in to go up, like, I've gotten better about keeping the expletives down around the kids now that they've gotten to an age where they like kind of like are aware of certain words' existence. I just let out a huge F-bomb when they got the tip. Just no way around it. I was just like, my dad came out, yeah. Texas, how to blow a lead you shouldn't blow. Forget you were how well you were playing offense. Foul the same guy every possession. Miss free throws down the stretch. The best way out of that is a clutch shot. Thank God for AW. The flaws with this team are still largely apparent, but we were due for some clutch, and that deserves celebration. Yeah, we didn't play great defense. We did also, Miami's the second worst free throw shooting team in the conference. And what were they in this game? Do you have the numbers in front of you?
No, I don't.
They only missed one for a long time, I know.
It's on that computer next to you there.
Yeah, I was about to get the 19 of 23. So they are a 67% free throw shooting team for the season. They shot 82.6% from the free throw line in this game.
But wasn't it all Renault pretty much?
He was 14 of 16. And he is like he's a decent he's a good free throw shooter. What's he on the season? Renault is good, by the way. He's very good. Indiana could have definitely used him again this year. He's 78.1% for the season. So 14 of 16 is above his season average, but not by a ridiculous amount.
Thought it was cool that he was from Miami, got to go play for them first year being good again in his last season playing.
Yeah. I don't think anybody from the Miami area probably grew up caring about Miami Hurricane basketball. But maybe he did. Maybe he was big into those Larinaga squads because there were some good teams when he was growing up, I guess. Texture says, PRTG here. Mike, don't sell yourself short. If your wife is a 10 and you're about a 5, she's only 2 times as hot as you, not 50. I was wrong last week about having Hadley come off the bench, even if he did play starter minutes. This team needs positive starts to each half, and he obviously helps with that. Zoo starting also seems to help the beginning of each half doldrums. Cannot wait until Wednesday. I mean, this was another game on Saturday, too, where freaking Boston College Notre Dame or whatever the game, but it was Notre Dame Pitt, took if you didn't have the ESPN app, you didn't get to see the start of the game until there were 11 minutes of real time left in the first half. And were you in that boat, Roman?
Yeah.
It's frustrating as hell.
It is.
Learn how to stagger your freaking tip times.
It's getting worse.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's getting worse. I'll never understand.
The problem is too,
you think you're going to lose out on viewers? You really think you're going to lose out on that many viewers?
I don't get it. And the thing is, other channels don't do this. They put 30 minutes of time in between games. They have pregame, postgame shows in case that there is hey, we've got 20 minutes of airtime to kill. The problem too is the ESPN app is so unreliable. So, I mean, I'm logged in on every TV in the house at this point, and I see that the Boston, again, whatever the game was, Pitt, is going to run long. And they're it's going to start over on the app. And I'm on the outside TV. The outside TV just doesn't work with the I'm logged in, it pops up, and it says, this game's unavailable in your area. I'm like, what? I go inside, and I go into the kids' playroom, and it's working on the app on that TV for some reason. Makes no sense whatsoever. So I still missed I think when I turned it on, it was 8-2. So I missed the first minute and a half, and we were lighting it up the first minute and a half. But a lot of people missed when they got the game on, it was already 18-10, and the first half was almost halfway over. It's ridiculous. Texas, my wife surprised me with a trip to Orlando this weekend, and the basketball team won. Does this mean my wife has to surprise me with a trip to Orlando every time the basketball team plays?
Maybe not a trip, but a surprise, yes.
No, it's a trip. She's got to do exactly what she just did. Big surprise, go all out, reveal it the same way every game. You could potentially have 4 trips to Orlando in 4 days this week. Just letting you know. Whatever anybody did Saturday, we're doing it again. Tip time's about the same time of day. I don't want to hear work as an excuse. I don't want to hear school as an excuse. I don't want to hear, well, I live in Miami and I went to the game as an excuse. You can make the trip to Charlotte. Nobody down there is going to miss you. You're fine. Whatever you did on Saturday, you're doing it again. Them's the rules. This is March. March rules. Texas and Ohio State's president shows no schools above the Baja Blast Zone. Mike needs to trademark this before it catches fire. Have you seen this news?
I haven't seen this news.
So, the Ohio State, what's his name? Ted Carter has resigned at Ohio State after a, quote, inappropriate relationship has emerged. Keep in mind, this guy's 70. Walter Ted Carter Jr. has led the university since 2024. Now says he made a mistake in allowing inappropriate access to Ohio State leadership. The Board of Trustees said they accepted Carter's resignation based on the fact that he, quote, had an inappropriate relationship with someone seeking public resources to support her personal business. The board appreciates the president's contributions to the university over the last 2 years, they said in a statement. The board was surprised and disappointed to learn of this matter and takes the situation and its potential impact on the university very seriously, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Banging somebody who wanted money for her own personal business.
Can't do that.
Baja Blast Zone. I mean, it's just an easy urge to satisfy. Maybe not as easy when you're 66. I don't know. But what are you thinking? What are you doing?
I think that sometimes they just prepared. They're prepared for the consequences.
They just don't care?
They think it's worth it.
Part of me wanted to get caught. Well, that's stupid, too. I mean, his base salary was $1.2 million. He also got a So this just happened last August. The trustees approved a 4.5% merit-based raise, totaling over $50,000, bringing his new base salary to $1.2 million, as well as $400,000 in bonuses, which is about 35% of his base pay. You risk all that just for some strange. I don't know what to say about that. It's just not. I mean,
Can't imagine.
yeah. Carter said he and his wife, Linda, are leaving Ohio State with gratitude and appreciation for this wonderful community. Is Linda
No,
really?
she's not.
Or is she just
She's
leaving?
embarrassed and she's ashamed.
Is she leaving you? By the way, what's up with Sharon Moore's wife? Just like every court proceeding, someone was like, I think there's growing evidence that she knew this was going on, and she just didn't care about it. Like, I guess I can understand it to a point.
No.
If Sharon Moore was like Urban Meyer or
Okay, yeah.
like Sharon Moore's not going to get another big time head coaching job after this. Like, not only did he get fired for gross stuff, he sucked. Like he was not getting the job done as a head coach, and he only got the job because of crazy circumstances surrounding Jim Harbaugh leaving. This isn't somebody who's going to. This isn't Harry Styles. This isn't Justin Timberlake. This isn't somebody who's going to be a superstar who's going to make just crazy money for the rest of his life. If you want to leave him because he embarrassed you and made you look ridiculous in front of the entire world, I think you're well within your rights to do that. I don't think Sharon Moore's going anywhere higher than he's already been at this point. Leave him.
Something about having, that's the father to her kid.
Maybe that's it. Maybe she's old school. Texture says, gotta say, I do love y'all kicking off a victory show on Monday with a book discussion. It truly warms my heart. Carl's been a godsend to bookstores across the country. Go Cards, go Carl. This is our guy Mark over at Carmichael.
Shout out to Mark.
We love Mark. We love Carmichael's too.
We do.
Did you get Carl from Carmichael's? Lie if you didn't.
I did, always.
There you go. Texture says, what do you think of Jeff's post Duke loss comments? He seemed aggressive to me, but he was also right. Definitely aggressive, but I like.
Definitely right as well.
Probably the perfect way to sum it up. On the men's game, Zeus starting was the difference. The game wasn't close when he was getting run. What was his? I wonder what his plus minus was. Let's look up the.
Should be right there on that broadcast.
Stat broadcast. It's not. Not in those numbers, at least.
I mean, it can't be too high. He didn't play long enough.
Yeah, only 8 minutes, but I would like to know. I mean,
probably +4, +2, +4. Which is pretty high for 8 minutes, but
he was +6.
Wow.
Who do you think is the highest plus minus of the team?
Javon Hadley.
No. Hadley was +7. It's actually the third highest in the team.
Was it Ryan?
Nope.
McNeely?
Yep. Guess
the 2 for 6 from 3, maybe not sure.
Guess who was second? I would love to have had this as a trivia question because I don't think anybody would have gotten the
Ali
top two.
Khalifa.
No. Ali -9. Worst plus minus on the team. Yeah.
Second after McNeely, if it wasn't Ryan or Woolley, then Kobe Rogers.
Sananda Frew.
Oh, duh.
+9. So McNeely, +8. McNeely's +9. Frew +8. Hadley +7. Zoo +6. The only players with a minus, Kanai was -7, Ali was -9, and Kobe was -5. Plus minus is, I think, a misleading stat a lot of times, but that is kind of funny. The two most criticized players on the team going into this weekend were without question Frew and McNeely, and they had the two highest plus minuses for the game. Texter says, Woolley doesn't turn the ball over as much as Brown does. It's just true. I mean, he doesn't.
Michael makes a lot more passes per game.
He doesn't make as many. He doesn't take as many chances. I mean, Michael, most of the time, makes up for the turnovers with assists that I don't think 99% of people could make.
I want to agree, but sometimes they're just the most egregious decisions.
I agree.
I mean, I can't even foresee what you were looking at. I can't even see what you were maybe seeing there on some of his turnovers.
You're right. I mean, there are times where he's taking a chance with a pass that just doesn't get through, and you're like, you can live with that one.
Willie doesn't do that.
It's the ones where he just throws the ball into the middle of the court for zero apparent reason, and you're just like you said, what were you looking at? Like who did you think was supposed to be at that place at that time? Those are the ones where I'm like, you just wasted a possession. We can't have that.
Which, typically 1 or 2 of those instead of 3 or 4 of those. You can only have 1 or 2 of those max for Mike Hill. When you get to having 3, 4 of those kinds of turnovers out of his 5 or 6, that's when it's bad.
What'd you think of the Zoo Dougie in the locker room? Zoo's an all-time vibes guy.
So, in terms of the Dougie rating, not the best.
No, but he didn't need to be.
But the vibes, absolutely needed. Love it. We need more Zoo dances.
There was he looked great, and he forced Ryan Caldwell to get up. We need somebody like this on this team. He also, anytime he does anything, he just, fires the bench the hell up. We need a scream at the bench and wake some guys up. And one other thing about the bench that I do want to make it a point. As poorly as he played and as anemic as he's looked the last few weeks, Kanai on that last shot, he knew it was going in. Everybody on the bench, we had a look about us in the last minute and a half of that game. On the bench, at least.
I don't know if Javon Hadley knew it was going in.
I don't think he did either.
He was a little shocked.
But our bench looked like oh my God, it's happening again. We had I know what's happening, and I don't think we can stop this. Look about us. Miami's bench is going nuts. The crowd's going crazy.
The Zugris celebration on the sideline.
Yeah, our dudes are kind of sitting down, not looking good. That last shot goes up. Everybody's just sitting down. Kanai, is the only one standing up, and he's, celebrating before it even goes in. I'll give Kanai props. He was all about it. He was very excited, and he's always been a great teammate. He's just I don't know where the energy's going.
I know this situation doesn't happen very much anymore at all in college basketball, and I know that being a Louisville fan under Pitino, I probably saw it happen more than it was even happening on average back then, but I feel like Zugris is, the epitome of, this player that in his quote-unquote freshman year doesn't really have it. He's not really good at anything. But in his last year of college basketball, he's going to be 15-10 guy, knocking down threes, knocking down mid-ranges, having triple-double tight end nights. I can see that. I can see him forming into that kind of player that just is.
Well, the problem is next year's his senior year. So.
That's the thing. He's only has 2 years.
He's gonna have to make a very quick transition to that type of player.
We could probably find him some more eligibility.
Probably could. He's only 22. We can get him here until he's at least 27.
Kaysen's 30. Could play again next year.
Yeah, Kaysen's got 5 kids, and
older than Tyler Shuck.
Registered in AARP. I love the energy that Zoo brings. I mean, and he did the marbles celebration from Major League, which that's how I know it. After Wooly made the shot, which was just great.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just an all-time vibes guy. You knew he was going to be a fan favorite before the season even started, and he's definitely lived up to that billing. Texas, I love.
Do you think he's more valuable to us than Noah Waterman was last year, aside of the EKU game? I get that you can't. It's a terrible question when you look at Noah technically saved the season.
I don't, just because we had so few bodies. Noah had to play. We needed him to. We didn't need him to be the player we thought he was going to be, just raining threes on everybody. But he played hard-nosed defense for us last year and rebounded real well. And
I guess I keep flopping their roles. I keep putting. Zoo on last year's team and trying to put Noah on this year's team and seeing who would do better.
I mean, I think Zoo maybe does better with what he's being asked to do. But, if you took Noah, we couldn't lose anybody towards the end last year. When we lost Rain, it was devastating. And that wasn't a guy that you looked at the beginning of the year and said, what are we going to do if we lose Rain? But when you lose so many players.
Losing Zoo right now wouldn't lower our
We'd be fine. We'd probably just move Kaysen into a role where he's playing 5-6 minutes a game. It wouldn't change us dramatically. I think losing Noah last year down the stretch would have changed us probably dramatically. Texas, I love our ACC tourney draw. 3 reasonable Q&A opportunities and potential shot at Duke if we can do it. Yeah, I mean, it's all out there for the taking. It just, can these guys step up? And, I mean, it's great that they did it once. Can we see them put together multiple games in a row where they get it done in crunch time, where they dig in? I mean, as sketchy as the last minute was, I will say, we gave up the lead with just under 5 minutes to go. We were trailing with 3.5 minutes to go. And it felt like in that situation in games past the team just runs away from us at that point and we end up losing by 6, 7, 8 points. They showed us something by digging in and at least getting it to the point where they can make those plays down the stretch. Like I said, it wasn't flawless execution on the last 2 offensive possessions. We didn't get big stops when we had to have them, but we did enough to win. And if you had asked any Louisville fan when we're down by 1 with 4 minutes to go, if they thought we were going to win at that point, I don't think. Heck, how could you have confidence after seeing the way that we've handled those situations over the preceding 4 months? They dug in, they toughed one out, they got it done. It has to be a jolt of life and confidence for this team going into postseason play. Now, let's get it done against good teams again on a neutral floor a few times in a row. That's the new goal. Let's make it happen. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll run through the text line. We'll make some predictions for the night ahead in sports, and then we'll hand things off to Dalton Pence and company, who will be on the air from 5:30 to 7. One more segment for you here on this Monday edition of the Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X. the final segment of the Monday edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1 Big X Sports Radio. But if you're tired, or not tired, of hearing Louisville excitement on the Big X airwaves, today is your day. Because Dalton Pence takes over at 5:30. He'll be on for 90 minutes until 7 o'clock. They will keep the enthusiasm going after the U of L men's basketball team's big win over Miami this weekend and the excitement surrounding this week's ACC tournament in Charlotte. So keep it locked right here once we get off the air. And a reminder again, after Dalton gets done, we'll have St. X versus Ballard in the 7th Region Boys Championship game. Winner goes to the Sweet 16. Loser has its season come to an end.
It'll actually be cutting into Dalton. He'll be out about 6:40.
Classic John Spears.
Yep.
Just taking and just has to do his own pregame show. Whatever. By the way, I saw John Spears stepping down from Bellarmine.
Really?
Play-by-play. Made that announcement on Twitter.
I didn't see that.
He was trying to get a shout-out from Awful Announcing. That's what he said, at least. Maybe he's just joking. Who knows? Classic Spears. Listen to Spears in sports every day, right here on the Big X. Gameday Mens Health text lines 502-414-1450. Still got a decent amount of text to get to. What is this? Okay, never mind. Don't need to get to that. It'll be just fine. We'll be okay. 502-414-1450. Let's get to your thoughts. We don't want to I don't want to leave anybody hanging on a Monday, especially when we may have some limited shows this week based on the Louisville game times. Texture says,
Ryan Conwell, second team All ACC.
I was wondering if this was going to come out while we were on the air. Do we have the official teams? Yes. Okay. Conwell, I'm good with that. That's about what I would expect.
Yeah.
We've got he's the
most made threes in the conference. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean he's averaging 9. If we'd like won the conference or been second, I could see him getting some nods for first team.
What's he in scoring?
18.7 points per game. I think that's
gotta be like fourth.
I think that's sixth. You forget like how many bunch of guys in the ACC.
Juke Harris, Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer,
Akori,
the kid from Illinois.
There's
not Illinois, Clemson.
Okay, so he's 7th in the league in scoring. Akori's the leading scorer. Cam Boozer's second. Juke Harris for Wake is third. Caleb Wilson's fourth. Boopy Miller's fifth. And then Malik Renew, who we just saw from Miami, is sixth. Ryan is the 7th leading scorer. Does lead the conference in made and attempted three-pointers, which should come as no surprise. I wonder,
18.8 is 7th in the conference. It's crazy.
Who do we think is going to be first team? I mean, I assume it's out there.
It'll be a Corey Boopy, Cam, Renault, and Juke. You can't give it to Juke, right? Does team success matter?
I think it'll be Boozer, Akori, Caleb Wilson, Malik Renew.
You got to give it to Boopy.
And Boopy Miller is who I would say will be the fifth. Have they announced it yet?
I'm sure the other schools' Twitter pages have.
Yeah, I mean, how do we have the release for Ryan Conwell? I want to see the whole thing. I mean, Boozer will be Player of the Year. I assume that Jay Lucas will be Coach of the Year. Okay, here it is. I got it. Let's see if we got this right. We did not.
Let me guess. I have no idea. I feel like that has to be right. If we're correct, then somebody just got a nod who shouldn't.
Testa Ritter from Virginia got the 5th spot, which I'm a little surprised by. It was
lowest points per game out of all of the 5.
Yes, it was very close. He beat Boopy Miller out by 9 points. We were right about the first 4. Boozer leading vote getter.
So one guard? Or they're counting Juke as a guard?
Well, they don't do teams like that anymore. It's just the 5 highest vote getters. They don't do like that's 2 guards, 2 forwards, center. Boozer was the highest vote getter. Caleb Wilson was second. Corey third. Malik Renew was fourth. And then Testa Ritter was fifth. Second team, Boopy Miller from SMU, Juke Harris from Wake Forest, Henry Visar from North Carolina, Trey Donaldson, who we just saw from Miami, and then Ryan Conwell. Wasn't in the release. Michael Brown is third team.
Good. He should be. 40 most points in an ACC game this season.
Isaiah Evans from Duke, Michael Brown, Quadir Copeland from NC State, Robert McRae from Florida State, who we didn't get to see, and then Day Ames.
Florida State had a third team?
Yeah.
Wow.
Robert McRae.
McRae's nice.
How's Jerron Pierre not
because he
third team. I mean, he's awfully good too. He was the leading getter for honorable mention votes. Just missed the third team, which went to Day-Day Ames. Individual.
You like giving it to Day-Day there?
No,
Me neither.
Pierre
earned it more.
I'd put Pierre over him and Robert McRae. Pierre's awfully good. Cam Boozer, Player of the Year, no shock there. Cam Boozer also Rookie of the Year, no shock there. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Malik Brown from Duke. Sixth Man of the Year goes to Malik Brown from Duke. Coach of the Year goes to John Shire from Duke. The only award that Duke didn't get was Most Improved Player, which did go to Juke Harris from Wake Forest. I mean, this feels like we're so sorry we gave Pat Kelsey the ACC Coach of the Year last year. We're going to give you everything this year. Don't worry about it. Although they did dominate the conference. I can't even get mad about this. But
if Jay Lucas beats us on Saturday, though, maybe they try to give it to him. They had the best turnaround. Like, they were literally us last year.
The biggest turnaround in college basketball, not just the ACC. Biggest turnaround in the entire country.
I think if they beat us, then they
maybe
get more votes. Probably.
They won 7 games last season. I get giving Shire the award, though, because, I mean, they dominated the league. 17-1. The one loss they took was at the buzzer to Carolina on the road in a game that they pretty much dominated.
Yeah, they earned it.
I
hate to say it.
I hate to too, but you can't really knock anything. If Duke swept the awards, you couldn't really knock it, honestly. All right, let's go back to the text line, 502-414-1450. Texter says, Michael is an awesomely talented player, but since he's been on again, off again due to his back, to me it seems like this has affected the team dynamic. The team played very together in Saturday's game, looking for the player with the better shot option, but with Michael on the floor, it's like they aren't necessarily looking for players other than Michael, and if he isn't an option, they lose confidence, focus, trying to force it to Michael. It's not a knock on him at all. I think it's a mindset for the other players that they need to get past. Am I completely off base on this?
There's something to be said about Isaiah McNeely's game and Adrian Willie's game when there's no Michael Brown. I don't think it really impacts anybody else strongly enough other than the fact that we need Javon to score more when Michael doesn't play.
Yeah.
Woolley, there's something about his game that changes, and there's something about Isaac McNeely's confidence that changes.
I mean, I do feel like it's more of a two-man game. Like, we just rely on Conwell and Michael to create their own shots.
With such high usage rates as well.
Yeah, it's like option one is Michael either looks for his own shot, goes to the basket to create his own shot, or passes to an open guy in the way. And then if that's not the option, it's just like, okay, Ryan jacks up a three. The ball definitely sticks more when Michael's out there, at least recently. But you also kind of understand. I mean, when he's on, he's a player capable of scoring 45 points in a single game.
And when you're in close game situations, you put the ball in your best player's hands.
No question about it. I mean, we need him. There's, I love the way that we looked on Saturday. If we're being real and we're trying, if the goal is, and it should be at this point in the season, how do we potentially win multiple games in the NCAA tournament? I don't think there's a formula where we get to that point that doesn't include Michael.
In that first half segment, we went about 2 mini runs. If Michael's in that game in that first half and he's playing through the flow of the offense, we go up by 20.
Maybe. I just hope he plays this week a little bit. Just I don't want him making his debut, his return after 3 weeks off in the NCAA tournament. Sounds like it's maybe 50-50. Texas says, neutrally speaking, how do you think Rick full court press Pitino would match up with teams with tall front courts like Duke or Florida?
They're going to struggle. They rely on trying to get to the basket and score from 2 and allow that to open up their shots from 3 and allow to open up looks for their less used players. Everything starts with them getting downhill, and teams like Duke that play such a they're not looking for block shots necessarily. They're just trying to contest and stay vertical and defend without fouling, and they do a really good job of doing so. Doesn't feed into what St. John's likes to do in my eyes. I mean, you just watch them go up against a team kind of like that, and how many missed shots in a row?
21. Absurd.
But I think like a team like us, a smaller built team, a team that's running more guards, they can take advantage of.
I'm kind of selling on all the Big East teams. I mean, the 3 that are going to be in the tournament. I don't trust UConn among the top 2 seeds that much. I don't trust St. John's that much, too. Yeah, the metrics, sometimes they're right, and they all have been saying, like, they're not that good. I think they can get hot and go to a Final Four. I've taken them out of the can win the national title equation. I don't think they can. Texas, let's go. The win made the weekend so much better. Can't imagine how low the vibes would have been had we not pulled that one out. PK is now 2-0 in March. Let's keep it going. Low-key great stat is only 6 turnovers versus Miami and 7 versus Q's, both the lowest of the season. This may be a major unpopular opinion, but thoughts on Michael coming off the bench as a reserve on Wednesday, even if he's fully good to go. By no means saying he isn't a deserved starter, just more of a momentum rhythm thing. Still want him to get his minutes in.
I mean, that's what we did in the second Duke game, and we did that in another game this season, but
We've only done that because it's a PK rule that if you miss a practice, you don't start. And I think it's silly because both games, he didn't start, and then he came in less than 2 minutes into the game and played like 30 minutes. Like, if he's fully good to go, he should start. But if he's not fully good to go,
he doesn't need to be playing more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if he says, like, I can give you 10 good minutes, I'm fine with bringing him off the bench in that situation.
I'm fine with playing him the last 10 minutes of the game.
Sure. Yeah. Texas, please read my other text first. Okay. I cannot believe we won a game starting Zugris and no Michael. It is. I mean, we beat a top 25 team, Roman, starting basically 2 6'6" forwards. If we're being real about how big Javon and Zoo are, like, we played maybe the best front court in the ACC and started 2 6'6" dudes in the post, and we won. It's insane. Obviously, it helped that they refused to guard Ryan in the first half, but they shut him down in the second, and other guys stepped up. Adrian raises our ceiling, and holy bleep, Isaac, where's that aggressiveness been all year? Banging mid-range Jays. This looked like the team we talked about in November. I'm headed to Charlotte on Wednesday. Thank God we clinched the 6th seed because my flight gets in at 11. The noon tip-off would have been ass. So glad we're bringing some good momentum to Charlotte. Go Cards, beat SMU or Syracuse. Also, I need to repent. I noticed the Miami money line was at plus odds on Friday night, and I slammed it. I was definitely more happy with the win and thrilled that it works out better for my trip this week. Still felt bad fading my team in the spot. I mean, if you felt bad, all you had to do is listen to the show and hear, like, the 17 other people that have admitted doing the same thing.
Didn't Isaac have a basket at the rim, too, off of a great move?
He had a pass at the rim. He had a basket on the rim off a back cut. But he made a great move to the rim.
By his man
and dumped it off
the big.
Javon.
Yeah, he got around the big, too.
Yeah, made a great play. Like, fantastic. They showed that in the little highlight video that they put out there today because it looks like he's going to cram at one point, and then Uday comes over and he just drops it off to Javon for the layup. Like, great play. He played terrific. Texas Mike, what's more embarrassing for the city of Louisville, the last 40 seconds of regulation in the women's conference title game, or that HBO documentary about the gay love triangle murder in Old Louisville? I still haven't watched that yet. The murder and glitter. I heard that does not make the city look very good. We started it one night, and then it was like, this is going to be too intense. We're not in that type of headspace, so we're going to turn it off. I still want to watch it, but mostly just to make fun of Jason Riley. Texas says,
went to Chili's for the first time this weekend.
You've never been to Chili's before?
Nope. Tried to go Derby last year.
I don't do Chili's outside of airports.
I enjoyed it while I was eating it. Went to the Hideaway Saloon afterwards, came home and threw up everything I ate.
Oh, no. Dan Sennard's the biggest Chili's guy you've ever met. Guy bleeping loves Chili's.
I think it was those. I don't know. I don't really think mozzarella sticks are for me.
Oh, I love mozza sticks. I don't know why.
Everything else was great.
We have first-time texter here. Says, Frew hedges too hard on pick-and-roll defense. He did a couple times.
Khalifa since October.
Yeah. Khalifa does too, out beyond the three-point line. They don't recover, and they give up alley-oop dunks. End of game, we did not start the offense soon enough.
Asking Khalifa to hedge is criminal, if you ask me. Like, the fact that that's even a thing when he's on the floor is, falls under the definition of insanity.
Texas, big guys like Frew not going up strong always reminds me of McMurphy teaching basketball. Dunk the ball, Chief. Just stuff it in there. Roman, are you familiar with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
No.
Good movie. Shout to Jack. Maybe his best role. He does teach the people in this insane asylum about playing basketball, and there's like this giant Native American, and he's just like, dunk the ball. And that's kind of how I feel. We have another first-time texter. We feel better about the ACC season, but I'm worried the committee still sees it as a third-tier conference that happens to have Duke. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see a repeat of last year with us, UVA, Clemson, Miami seated below current expectations. Because there it is. Because ACC teams are judged mainly on the record against Duke. I don't think there's any truth to this. I mean, like we weren't even a top 5 conference last year, according to the predictive metrics. We were the 6th best conference in college basketball. We're a very solid 4th right now. They see the same thing that everybody else does. Chris Plummer texted in, said, no, Roman, Woolley is not a PG. He can come back, but not as the primary one. That's Chris's thoughts. Texter says, just a good shooting day, nothing to get overhyped over.
Maybe not overhyped, but we can be hyped about it.
Yeah, I mean, we beat a good team on the road. Hadn't done it. I'm going to get hyped about it. Texas following up from Friday's show. I feel like TJ Walker and me would get along. We can bond over hating visionless ADs for our respective teams. Lastly, I don't know how I should feel about Nolan Smith's success. I see tons of Cards fans and media congratulating him on Twitter. Am I petty for wanting everything associated with the KP era to suck? No. No.
There's maybe a chance that KP individually was so bad it didn't even allow for the opportunity for anyone else on the staff to do any good.
What if Josh Jameson gets a head coaching job and just freaking crushes it? Like, Josh Jameson gets named.
Wins the tournament game.
He's the head coach at UC San Diego next year and goes like 33-2. Goes to the Sweet 16. We're like, this guy knew what he was talking about this whole time. He's like in the Little Rascals, the kid that they think can't talk. He's like, actually, I have a quite extensive vocabulary. That's Josh Jameson. Just couldn't show it. Texas, I tuned in late. If you aren't watching the WBC, you're missing out. I do feel terrible that I've not been able to watch. I mean, this is the biggest time. I'm watching. I'm doing nothing but basketball stuff. So I'll
the highlight recap videos. You're all right.
The highlight clips are incredible, though. Like, you know, Gino Suarez, it's the Venezuelan crowd just going freaking nuts was incredible. The walk-off in the, what was it, Chinese Taipei game the other night was crazy. I mean, I've got a friend coaching in this thing. We're giving him grief about you blew a 1-0 lead just like England blew a 13-colony lead in the Revolutionary War. I've got friends that are very into it. I'm sure I would be very into it if it were happening at any other time of the year.
Cut USA on tonight.
They a couple crazy catches. My buddy Dylan, his whole family came to the event, and they found the other 3 England fans that came over, and they're doing this little dance with them before the game. I'm like, it's cute. Cheerio. Texas says Bauer has 7-seed UK versus 10-seed Miami of Ohio, plus 200 odds to see Pope crying post game, and minus 500 odds my erection won't go away if Miami wins. I don't want that because I think UK would beat Miami. I think Miami's an incredible story. I think they can beat the right opponent in the first round, but I think UK would have a better chance of losing to somebody else. Texas says, do you think the metrics reward if beating SMU on a neutral site in our first game outweighs the more winnable game versus Syracuse? No, I'd rather play Syracuse. We obviously would get I don't think the potential, I think what you're asking is the potential reward for beating SMU enough to take on the additional risk of losing that game as opposed to beating playing a more winnable game against Syracuse but not getting a big boost in your resume. I want Syracuse, if you're asking me, because you've got another quad 1A waiting for you right after that against Miami.
You're just superstitious about the conference, losing your first conference game.
Well, I like winning games, and especially in tournament formats. I want to see us play deep in this tournament. And if we could beat Syracuse handily. I mean, other thing, too, is SMU, we know how that game's going to go. You're getting up and down. Even if you win, you're going to be that's worn out as hell. It's going to be 92-90, and then you're going to play Miami, who you just beat 92-89. It's going to be the same type of game.
Let's say we know we're going to lose. Say a genie says you're losing this Miami game. Don't you want the chance at the quad 1 win?
If I knew we weren't going to beat Miami, I would rather take the shot against SMU.
That's kind of how I'm feeling. I don't know about our chances of beating Miami again, having to shoot the way we do if there's no Mike Hill.
I want to get there.
Yeah, getting there is more important.
Texas, I want to know how things went for behind the bench Miami guy. Yeah, I haven't gotten a couple people emailed me about.
I didn't see any signs.
This guy sent me a picture of him in the bird mask at the game. said after the game his two daughters got to meet Zoo, who's like their favorite player, and he was like, "What's up, ladies?" And like Spencer Legg gave his son, who he also brought his sneakers.
So I have an interesting moment I want to describe about.
All right, well, we've got 4 minutes, so
Saturday night, I'm coming home from Chili's before we go out to the Hideaway Saloon, and Spencer Legg just walking in front of my house with his dog. How fast did they get back after the game?
it's incredibly fast. Like, I'll never forget. So I don't think I realized how quick that private travel is until when we beat Marquette, the Jerry Smith shot at the buzzer where he knocked over the lady afterwards. Like, this was I think it was a Thursday night game, and I went to the bars with friends. This is my senior year of college, and like celebrated the game, celebrated the win, went out to the bars. Like, they were at the bar by like 12:30. Like David Padgett comes walking in with some of the underage players, and like it felt like it was like an hour and a half after the game had ended. I was like, Jesus, how fast is that? And then I've flown with the football team a couple times, and you realize like, oh,
this is like 8 p.m.
You just like walk onto the plane. It's like a 3-hour flight, 2-hour flight, wherever. You get right off, you're there. Boom. It's just it's crazy how quick it is.
Is there like
you don't go through any security? Just like
I wonder
plane's right there. Let's go.
If Javon Hadley and Adrian Woolley or Ryan Conwell, like an hour after the game, they get back to the hotel or something, they're like, yeah, we don't want to go back today. We want to stay here tonight. Would they?
Well, no, you can't do that.
You can't?
No.
That's never been a thing?
No. I mean, you get off the team for that. You can't just do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, like they convince the coaches, like, hey, we need to stay here tonight. It's party.
Probably not going to work out like that. No. I don't think any team, no.
So it's just a pro sport thing then.
Yeah.
I was curious. Hey, if we just got a big victory, last game of the regular season, you technically have Saturday night off, I'd imagine, when you get back. But, hey, can we just fly back in the morning?
No. Texas says, I blame Adidas for confusing Nolan. Texas, will we get the Nolan newsletter now? It's coming. Any day now. Just like George R. R. Martin's last book. Texas, Colorado, Kieran here. Happy Victory Monday, boys. How badly did the women botch the end of the game? We talked about it.
Pretty bad.
The way Woolley attacks when Brown isn't playing, we need to see more Woolley moving forward. Agree. Texas, I'm glad to see you guys finally see what I've been seeing from Frew all year long. I mean, we haven't been.
I called him.
I mean, I think we've all seen the same. It's not like everybody was like, damn, Frew's one of the best players until like the last game.
We apologize for what I called him on Real Spill.
Texas says, we don't lose on Saturdays, besides that one time. Right state of Michael Cooper tonight. Damn right. Mike, stop hoarding your picks. What are the best bets for today's college slate? Also, baseball. Should I drive over to the game at 3 tomorrow after school? Sure. Why not? Although the weather's going to suck tomorrow, it sounds like. Yeah. So, Texas, considering your close personal friendship with Master P, did it bring a tear to your eye seeing both Victorious Miller and Mercy Miller playing in the same game? See the link above. I didn't know the other one got in the game, but I've seen Mercy had a huge dunk a few weeks ago for Houston. He's very good. I mean, also, my boy, Master P is the general manager for New Orleans basketball. They won their first game in the Southland tournament. He's hitting me up for advice. I'm riding with the Privateers. Texas says, congrats to Dalton for being PA for the Kings.
Congrats
to Dalton. Are you allowed to share your news?
Yes. Yes.
I'll let you save it for Dalton's show. You guys can talk about it there. Texas, want to see Georgia Southern go 6 for 6 tonight? We talked about it. Hopefully that'll be fun. Last one, how far would this U of L team need to advance in the NCAA tournament to justify the amount of money spent on it? Sweet 16 for this year. Sweet 16 for this year. I think that would justify it. Roman, tonight, we've mentioned the game, Georgia Southern playing for a chance to be the first team in college basketball history to go 6 wins, 6 days to clinch a bid to the NCAA tournament. They're taking on the top seed in that league, Troy. Troy's a 5.5-point favorite. Can the Eagles and local product Tyron Moore get it done tonight? What do you say?
Troy's getting the victory.
Troy wins. Troy covers. Don't love it. Ballard, St. X tonight, 7th region title. Who you got?
St. X.
Give me St. X by 2.
Give me Northern Kentucky on the upset tonight over Wright State.
In a great game. I hate to say this, but best bet tonight, Monmouth -1.5 against Campbell. I'm rooting for my Camels. Monmouth wins. Monmouth covers in the CAA. Dalton Pence is up next. Keep it locked right here for more Cardinal Sports Talk. We're back tomorrow at 2:30. Until then, go Cards.
Go Cards.
The Mike Rutherford Show was brought to you by United Mechanical. John Burke's United Mechanical is your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration needs.